office this morning?
That's right, sweetie.
Well, would you take along a basket full of baby critters and find good homes for them with some of your movie star clients?
Man, you can't ask a boy genius to do something like that.
Well, I ain't. I'm asking you.
Watch that mouth, kid. I can make you break in this town.
Well, just take along a couple.
Hey, careful. You get hair all over my new Edwardian outfit.
What outfit?
Edwardian. I don't know Ed personally, but he's the hottest tailor in town.
Well, will you take along a few if I put them in a basket?
No, baby. You get Granny to help you peddle them.
Well, Granny's busy. She's out front giving Pa a haircut.
Out front?
Well, Pa was out there sharpening knives and cobbing shoes and mending a churn, and Granny says the light's better out there.
Oh, there goes the neighborhood. How am I going to keep my image as a world-famous celebrity with them hayshakers cluttering up the front of the mansion? Go tell them to get out of sight.
Well, you go tell them.
My limousine is going to be here any minute with my chauffeur, gopher, flunkies, and stooges. What are they going to think if they see Granny cutting Uncle Jed's hair?
I'll just give you a good shot of my homemade scalp stimulator.
That stuff kind of smarts, Granny.
Well, that's a sign it's getting right down to the roots.
Feels like it done hit bone. What's in that stuff?
Oh, mostly turpentine, ginger, with a lye base.
Oh, man. How quick you going to be done here?
Sit down, I'll get to you in a minute, just as soon as I finish Jed's hair. Now, I gotta see if there's any teeth that needs pulling.
My teeth's in fine shape, Doctor.
I'll be the judge of that. Jethro can wait.
But what if one of them sightseeing buses full of tourists comes by here?
They'll just have to wait their turn.
The buses come by because there's a famous celebrity lives here.
The boy's right, Granny.
Oh, now, I'm a fair barber and a good dentist and a brilliant doctor. But I ain't famous.
I'm the celebrity, the boy genius agent of Hollywood.
I thought you'd give up that agent business.
Are you kidding? I'm the president of JB Enterprises Incorporated. I got the whole fifth floor down in Mr. Drysdale's bank building. I got secretaries, stooges, flunkies, chauffeurs, limousines. People is calling me Mr. Show Business.
What people?
Them people.
Is that the tour bus coming?
Oh, that's my limousine. Now get out of sight. Good morning, stooges and flunkies.
Good morning, Mr. Show Business.
Jed, did you see that?
No, Granny. I missed that.
I'm sorry, Chief. Mr. Show Business isn't in his office yet.
That nut owes me $5,000 in rent, and I... What did you call him?
Mr. Show Business. That's what Jethro likes to be called.
Well, just wait till I see him. I've got a few other names I want to call him.
Ah, Mr. Show Business, did your Uncle Sugar send a check for the rent?
Certainly not. I don't take charity. That's me, baby. JB, Jethro Bodine. Or you can turn it the other way around, and you got BJ, boy genius.
BJ, boy genius.
BJ, big jerk. Right there.
Good morning, JB.
Oh, you're my new receptionist.
That's right, JB.
Gang, tell her what they call me now.
Mr. Show Business.
Jethro, wait a minute. I want to talk to you.
Has he got an appointment?
No, sir.
Sorry, sweetheart. I'm all jammed up now. Hey, leave your card and I'll try to get to you next week. See that I'm not disturbed, huh? Come on, gang.
Sorry.
Now, look, miss. Now, wait a minute. I know you. You work for me.
Not anymore. Mr. Show Business promised to double my salary.
He hasn't any money.
Are you kidding? He pays $5,000 a month just for these offices.
Jethro, we have business to discuss.
Can't you see I got an office full of people?
Yes, I can. And how do you intend to pay them? And me?
No sweat, baby. Just one picture like The Sound of Music and I'm well.
You don't have a picture like Sound of Music.
I got Julie Andrews
You?
to an exclusive lifetime contract. Right, Julie? Right, Mr. Show Business.
This isn't Julie Andrews.
Show him your driver's license, Julie.
Never mind. Come down to my office. I have to talk to you.
I ain't talking till I get some improvements made around here.
Improvements?
Yeah, like a private projection room and a sauna bath. and a landing pad on the roof for my helicopter. Hey, for the kind of rent I'm paying, I want service. And if I don't get it, I'm moving my operations out of here. Right, gang?
Right, Mr. Show Business.
Mr. Drysdale, please don't disturb him anymore.
Don't worry. He's as disturbed as he can get.
Well, Chief?
No, I haven't been well since J.B. moved in. Wait a minute. I've got a brilliant idea. We'll change the B to a C and rent this whole floor to Jed Clampett.
What for?
For $5,000 a month, that's what for.
What do you think, Jed? You gonna take Mr. Drysdale's advice?
Well, Granny, I still don't know what I'd do with the whole floor of a bank building.
Well, it'll be the headquarters for your enterprises.
I ain't got no enterprises.
Well, you will have. You'll be busy with your countless projects and investments.
Well, I like the notion of being busy.
Yes, just think of it. Jed Clampett Enterprises Incorporated. You'll be a part of the business community. You'll contribute to the gross national product. You'll be in the mainstream of American economy.
Sounds real patriotic.
It is. And forming a corporation has certain tax benefits.
Oh, it'll benefit the tax people, will it?
You could say that.
What do you think, Granny?
Oh, I like it, Jed. I've already got some ideas for what to do.
That's the spirit, Granny. It's the private enterprise system that's made this country great.
Oh, howdy, Mr. Drysdale.
Hello, Ellie.
Would you like to have some baby critters?
No, thanks.
Your pa's talking business with Mr. Drysdale, honey.
Oh, all right. Come on, Bessie. Let's make the rounds again.
Ain't that a sorry sight? A pretty girl like Ellie, wasting her time running around the neighborhood with an ape, peddling critters. No wonder she's an old maid.
Not for long, Granny. Picture Ellie Mae in a pretty dress, sitting behind the reception desk of Jed Clampett Enterprises Incorporated, meeting all the young, eligible business executives and captains of industry.
By doggies, that does it. How soon can we move in?
Practically immediately. I will go and make all necessary arrangements.
Say, you got some ideas of what to do, Granny?
I got a dozen of them, Jed. You can set up a whole workshop. Repair furniture, do wood carving, cobble shoes, make duck calls, mend harness, and I can have what I've always dreamed of all my life. A combination doctor and dentist office and barber shop.
Sure will feel good doing something useful.
Your first job is for me. I want you to whittle me a great big tooth to hang outside my dentist's office.
I'll get started on it right away.
Who did you say was moving in here?
Your Uncle Jed.
Then I'm moving out.
I'd like that in writing.
All us Hollywood celebrities has got ragtail relatives, but we keeps them at home. If he comes in here, I'm leaving.
Wonderful.
And if I leaves, my stable of stars leaves with me.
Marvelous.
And that includes Julie Andrews. Right, Julie?
Right.
And my newest star, Lee Marvin. Right, Lee?
Right.
That's not Lee Marvin.
Show me your driver's license, Lee.
Never mind. Just pack them up and clear out.
You keep this up, and I'm going to move to another building. Great. You're flirting with professional suicide. One word from me, and you'll never work in another picture.
I don't work in pictures, never have worked in pictures, and never will work in pictures.
See what I mean? Go fool with Mr. Show Business.
Just pack up your stable, your stooges, your stuff, and scram.
I'm going to give you one more chance. Do I get my private projection room, sauna bath, and helioport?
Never.
I just want a straight yes or no answer.
It's no.
Make up your mind.
Oh, get out.
That here's a doll. You can beg all you want. I'm moving out.
Mr. Drysdale's office. Oh, hello, Granny. You're open for business on the 5th floor?
Granny, what kind of business?
Your opening special is what? A kitten with every haircut and a puppy if you have a tooth pulled.
I'd better get right up there.
If you have your tonsils out, you get a free duck call.
How's that look, Ellie?
Oh, just fine, Pa.
I called Miss Jane and told her about our opening special. Mr. Drysdale's coming on the run.
He knows a bargain when he hears one.
What's going on up here?
JC Enterprises is open for business. Get a free kitten with every haircut and a puppy if you...
He knows all that, Ellie. That's why he's here.
Come on in, Mr. Drysdale. You're our first customer. Temporarily, Granny and me is sharing this nice big room. Of course, when business picks up, we'll have to spread out a mite.
I picked out another office for my operating room.
Operating room?
I need a quiet place for my delicate surgery, like liver transplant. Oh, and that big room right off the elevators would make a dandy maternity ward.
Granny says doctors ain't allowed to advertise, so we'd appreciate a little word of mouth.
How about one of them windows that fronts on Wilshire Boulevard for a display?
What would you display?
Oh, teeth, gallstones, X-ray pictures, and some of Jed's wood carvings.
I can't believe this.
Oh, it's you who deserves the credit, Mr. Drysdale. Why, if you hadn't come over and stirred us up, we'd still be sitting home twiddling our thumbs.
Well, now let's thank him with deeds and not words.
Now, here is something that Granny's been dreaming of having for a long time. A real professional dentist chair.
It's good for barbering and minor surgery. Now, what do you want me to work on first? Your hair or your teeth?
I recommend hair first, then teeth.
Wait.
Sounds like you got a loose plate. I can fix that. Mix me a little cement, Jed.
No. These are my own teeth.
Is that a fact? Well, then I'll polish them for you. Hand me the steel wool, Jed.
I just had my teeth fixed and cleaned.
Well, then I'll give you a haircut. Now, let's see if I got a bowl that'll fit you.
Granny, I just had my hair cut, too, at the club.
Seems to me that you'd patronize your own tenant.
Now, Granny, he didn't know about us.
That's the truth.
Then I'll just check over that other dentist's work. Open your mouth.
Oh, howdy, Miss Jane.
Hi, Ellie. So this is J.C. Enterprises.
Oh, this here's just a reception office. And yonder's where the work goes on.
What kind of work?
Oh, hair cutting, teeth pulling, wood carving, harness mending, furniture fixing, shoe cobbling. Well, Mr. Drysdale's in there right now.
What's he having done?
Well, I don't know. He might be getting his shoes fixed or his hair cut.
Ow!
Oh, he must be having a tooth pulled.
But he just went to the dentist yesterday. He wouldn't...
Tell me to Dr. Clark. Granny just pulled a cap off one of my teeth.
Come back, Mr. Drysdale. You need help. Your teeth ain't nothing but shells.
Wait, Mr. Drysdale, you forgot your free puppy.
Who's that goomer?
Says here his name is Rock Hudson.
Is he wanted for something?
I think he's a big movie star.
Handsome rascal, ain't he?
He got a nice smile, too.
I want you to make me a great big sign. I want to put it right across this chin here, saying teeth by Granny.
You're spoofing, ain't you?
Oh, sure. I got professional ethics.
Good.
How about a picture of Gabby Hayes with a sign saying gums by Granny?
That's kind of stretching a blanket, too, ain't it?
I was just testing it, kid. It's good to have an honest partner. Ain't much money in it, but it's good.
I'll start making them signs.
How about putting your picture up here
What for?
so I can put mine up there, too?
You just put yours up, Granny.
Only if you insist.
I insist.
It would give people confidence to see that the doctor is a kindly person.
No question about it.
We make a good team, Jed. Of course, I'm held back with medical ethics. But you're clever at getting around them.
This is insane. These signs will have to come down. Harness bandit, open heart surgery. The Board of Health will condemn the building, and you'll go to jail.
Me?
You don't think I'm going to take the rap for this?
How do you like Jed's signs, Mr. Drysdale?
Beautiful, just...
Did you have my picture enlarged, Miss Jane?
Yes, Granny, I just put it up.
Here's a sign I want to put under it.
Your friendly critic dentist.
I want it painless in there, but it makes it too long.
Sure makes a person feel good to be part of the business community. Mighty grateful to you for thinking of it.
Always glad to be helpful.
Of course, we ain't got no customers yet, but I reckon Ellie will fetch 'em in.
Ellie?
Yeah. Ellie Mae, come on over and show Mr. Drysdale your sandwich sign.
Follow me to the 5th floor. Commerce Bank Building.
I'm going to walk up and down Wilshire Boulevard.
He's stammering again, Doctor.
That ain't a loose plate. Them's his own teeth. What they is left of them.
Well, I'd better get started.
Wait.
I think I know what's causing that. Too much tongue for your mouth. Come on into my office and I'll prune it back.
No!
It's just simple open mouth surgery. I can give you chloroform or a local or the economy job where I just clamp you into the chair.
That economy job gets a mite noisy, Doctor.
Well, you can run your power saw to drown out the scream.
I'm fine, Granny. Really. I was just anxious to save Ellie all that walking. You see, I have a whole bunch of customers lined up for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dandy.
Yes. Now, you all go back to your offices and wait. They'll be along very shortly.
Come on, Granny, Ellie Mae, we'll be waiting for the customers.
Sure you don't want a little bob job on that tongue?
You know, Chief, you really should have let Granny work on that tongue. It's gotten you in real trouble this time. Where are you going to get a bunch of customers?
You know that orphanage I foreclosed on?
No,
Well, how about the old folks' home?
absolutely not. To victimize poor, weak, defenseless, frightened people.
That's it. The bank employees. You wouldn't? Yes, they've been belly aching for a medical care plan. Now they got it.
Chief, it won't work. The first victim will warn the others.
Not after Granny bobs his tongue. I want this floor closed to the public. From now on, it's sealed off to everyone but my 65 bank employees.
You sent for me, Mr. Drysdale?
Yes. Sit down, Cratchit.
Yes, sir.
Now, Cratchit, you've always been sort of a ringleader among the rebellious element of my employees, the dissatisfied group.
Oh, no, I haven't, Mr. Drysdale.
You're the one who brought in the petition asking for Christmas Day off.
Oh, you whipped me for that one show. You're not going to whip me again.
No, I have no intention of punishing you, Cratchit. As a matter of fact, you're going to be the first employee to enjoy the benefits of my new medical care plan.
You mean I'm going to get medical care?
From A to Z. Doctor, dentist, major surgery.
Oh, then you are going to beat me.
Oh, will you relax? I'm instituting the finest, most comprehensive program of employee benefits ever conceived. I've allocated the entire 5th floor for this purpose.
I can't believe it.
Come, I'll take you up there.
Oh, you're not going to push me down the elevator shaft?
Of course not. This is the waiting room of my new employee care center.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And this is our lovely receptionist, Miss Ellie Mae. Ellie, this is Mr. Cratchit.
Well, howdy, Mr. Cratchit.
How do you do, Ellie Mae?
When you're through, you can have a free kitten or a free puppy or both.
Oh, good. I've always wanted a pet, but I never thought I could afford one.
Now you're going to have one. Besides medical care, you will have your shoes fixed, a haircut.
I hardly have enough to bother with.
Oh, the doctor can grow you some hair.
Really?
Well, sure. She's poulticed a new head of hair on lots of folks.
Oh, Mr. Drysdale, you know, I was all wrong about you. You're a saint.
The doctor can cure that stammer, too. Take good care of Ellie Mae. Is Mr. Cratchit still in there?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard any screams?
No, sir.
She must have used chloroform.
Now you keep that on overnight. And tomorrow I'll thin it out for you.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh, Mr. Drysdale, new shoes, and tomorrow I'll have new hair.
Here's your free puppy and kitten.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Wonderful. Bless you, Mr. Drysdale. Bless you.
I'd like to say the same thing. Mr. Drysdale, that little fella tells me he's only the first of 65 customers you're sending us.
Well, yes.
And Jed and me want to give you a reward.
That really isn't necessary.
Now, we won't take no for an answer. Come on. Come on over here, sit down, slip off your shoes. I'll cobble you a new set of soles and heels.
Oh, you don't have to reward me.
It's our pleasure.
Now, close your eyes. And I'll give you my part of the reward.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to take out them bad teeth. It's just shell.
This has been a film-raised presentation.
Viacom. What has become of my worldwide talent agency? What have you hayshakers done to the shrine of show business, huh? Your friendly credit dentist. Granny?
That's right. Also doctor, surgeon, and barber.
You get a free kitten with every haircut. If you have a tooth pulled, you get a free puppy.
Well, let's get the offices of J.C. Enterprises open for business. Any patients waiting, receptionist?
No, ma'am, doctor, just your throat.
Come on in, boy. You can see how your Uncle Jed and me has fixed up this office.
Ellie, honey, why don't you slip on your sandwich sign, walk around the block a few times, chum up some customers?
Oh, yes, sir, Pop.
The peasants had done took over the palace. This was the throne room of the crown prince's show business. From this window, I could look out over my empire.
Mr. Drysdale said that you didn't need it, and he talked Jed and me into taking it over.
Uh-huh. You done killed a dream. The sweet smell of success is gone.
I wouldn't say that, boy. We'd likely do real good.
Yeah, I'm going to fetch back a whole bunch of customers.
How pretty, Ellie.
I will.
Any business that Ellie fetches us will be gravy. We done got a 65 steady customers.
Where'd you get them?
Mr. Drysdale. He's sending us every one of his bank employees.
Granny, I think you can take credit for that. It's a job you done on Mr. Drysdale's teeth that sold him.
Oh, any first-rate dentist would have spotted right off that his front teeth was nothing but shells.
Shells?
I lifted off 6 of them. Left nothing but little nubs.
And Mr. Drysdale looked like a garfish when he left him.
6 teeth had to be recapped at $150 a cap.
Why did you let Granny pull them off?
She had me clamped in that antique dentist chair.
I think you promised to send your 65 bank employees to Granny for treatment.
Now, look, we've got to get the Clampetts off that 5th floor. You go up there and tell them the building's been condemned.
Just for a change, why don't we stick to the truth?
If the city finds out what's going on up there, it'll be the truth. They're running a combination pet shop, shoe shop, maternity ward, dental clinic, operating room. You can get anything from a haircut to a heart transplant. And all without a license.
Chief, every single woe that besets you is directly attributable to your love of money.
What do you mean?
You rented that floor to the Clampetts for one reason, to collect money. You're greedy, grasping, penurious, avaricious, and that's why you're in trouble.
Yes, like they say. Nice guys finish last.
For once in your life, why don't you do the decent, honorable, honest thing?
Like what?
Like go to the 5th floor and tell Mr. Clampett the truth that you made a mistake. That Jed Clampett Enterprises has no future, that he and his family should vacate the building and move back home.
Yes, you're right. I guess it is the only decent thing to do.
You'll feel better for it.
I feel better already.
Cast off the shackles of greed.
I'm a free man.
The cleansed of your sickness.
I'm well.
Let's celebrate by burning this.
What is?
Mr. Clampett's check for the first month's rent. $5,000.
5,000?
Steady, Chief. Even though Mr. Clampett is a man worth $80 million, he's still a simple, naive soul, and he trusts you implicitly.
Burn it.
Bless you.
I'm raising his rent to $7,500. My first duty is to the stockholders of this bank.
But you own all the stock.
That's right. To thine own self be true. Come in.
Mr. Drysdale?
Yes. I'm Melvin Drysdale. And who are you?
My name is Armstrong. I'm the building inspector.
The building inspector?
Yes, I'd like to ask what kind of business is being conducted on the 5th floor.
Why?
Well, there's a beautiful blonde walking around the block with a sign that says, "Follow me to the 5th floor of the Commerce Bank building."
Renee.
Who?
Oh, yes. Well, that is a very interesting story. Miss Hathaway, would you like to tell Mr. Armstrong about that?
No.
It is kind of sad. You see, that entire 5th floor used to be occupied by a young talent agent. And then a terrible tragedy occurred. Right?
Right. He couldn't pay his rent.
He did fall on evil times. Too bad. A brilliant young fellow, but misfortune plagued him. And finally, it was too much for his proud, sensitive nature. He jumped. That's when we closed off the 5th floor.
You closed it.
It's haunted.
Well, then why is that young lady walking around with a sign?
Well, that is the really sad part of the story. You see, this girl was on the verge of stardom. And when that brilliant young agent jumped, it sort of unhinged her mind.
Chief.
No. I know it's a sad story.
It's pitiful.
Well, if you're going to cry, you go into your own office. Now, where was I?
That young lady wandering the streets with the sign.
Oh, yes. Looking for her agent. Tragic. She can't accept the fact that he's gone.
Well, who was this young agent?
Jethro Bodine. They called him Mr. Show Business, the boy genius of Hollywood.
Funny, I didn't read about him jumping.
Well, the industry hushed it up. He was such a revered figure.
Well, what's on the 5th floor now?
Nothing but ghosts, memories. Now and then, some of Jethro's old clients, who, like poor Ellie, refuse to believe that he's gone.
When do you plan to reopen the floor?
I may never reopen it. I may seal it off as a shrine to the memory of that wonderful young man. That won't violate the building code, will it?
No, I don't think so, but won't you be losing a lot of rent?
Oh, only money. A man must do what his heart dictates.
I'm sorry to hear about this. I hope you'll get that young girl off the street.
Immediately. I'll see that she gets the best of care.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Chief, you've really woven a tangled web now.
But it worked. Now you get Ellie off the street and tell Mr. Clampett I've raised his rent.
No, sir, I refuse to become involved.
All right, come along.
Where are we going?
As an employee, you're entitled to free medical benefits. We'll start by having Granny fix your teeth.
I'll cooperate.
That's better. Now get busy.
Ellie Mae ain't back yet, and ain't no customers waiting.
They'll come in bunches. That's the way it always is.
How about it, boy? You want to join in with us and make this a family business?
No, sir, not me.
You could learn some mighty useful trades, like hair cutting, cheese pulling, doctoring.
Wood carving, harness mending, shoe cobbling.
Y'all just don't understand, do you? I just can't go from being Hollywood's #1 agent to cobbling shoes. I'd rather jump out the window.
Well, if you feel that strong about it.
Hey, listen, you ain't doing no business. I tell you what, you let me turn this place back into my worldwide talent agency, and I'll put you in movies.
What do you think, Granny?
No, Jed, it's tempting, but the world needs a good doctor more than it does another sex symbol.
Granny's right about the world needing doctors, boy. Why don't you stay and study with her?
I'll learn your brain surgery.
I just ain't getting through to you, am I? I got show business in my blood. I done been sprinkled with stardust. I got destiny to fulfill.
Where do you aim to fulfill it?
Yeah. You couldn't pay your rent here.
Well, hey, how about I have my talent agency up at the mansion?
That's all right with me.
It'll be good to have somebody keeping an eye on the place.
Then it's a deal.
Gee whiz, Miss Jane. I must have had a dozen fillers following me.
I know, Ellie, but Mr. Drysdale wants this floor closed off to everyone but his bank employees. They have priority.
I didn't know that. I'm awful sorry.
I'll keep in touch with you.
Do that, boy.
Hi, Miss Jane.
Jethro.
See you later, Ellie.
Well, where you going?
I'm moving my worldwide talent agency up to the mansion.
Jethro, judging from your record so far, perhaps you weren't meant to be an agent.
Are you kidding? It's my destiny. I'm a natural-born star maker. Didn't I discover Julie Andrews?
You?
That's right. Working in a car wash.
Julie Andrews?
Right, Julie?
Right, Jethro.
This isn't Julie Andrews.
Here we go again. Show her your driver's license, Julie.
Jethro, what's happened to your agents?
I'm moving out, sweetie.
In that case, I think I better go back to work at the car wash.
And give up show business?
I gotta eat, man. I'll be seeing you.
That guy's crazy. If he'd have stuck with me, I'd have made the name Julie Andrews famous.
Well, that's show business.
Yeah. Hey, Ellie, if any celebrities calls or comes to see me, send them up to the mansion.
Sure will, Jethro.
Hey, Miss Jane, you want to come along as a secretary? You can start by typing up Lee Marvin's contract.
You handle Lee Marvin?
Yeah, she's a real nice girl. You'd like her.
Thanks, Jethro, but I get nervous around celebrities.
Ma'am, mansion won't be no place for you, because it's going to be jumping with them. Oh, if you want me, I'll be up there among the stars.
Bye,
Jethro.
Bye.
Well, Miss Jane.
Sure is good to see you.
Come in, come in.
Come right in. Now sit right over there in the dentist chair and we'll get started.
Wait a minute. I'm not here for treatment.
How come?
Mr. Drysdale said he was sending up all his employees.
Well, yes, but we're supposed to come in alphabetical order. I'm Hathaway. Ages aren't due yet.
Well, who's that little fella that I pulled his hair on his head?
Cratchit, C. Next comes D.
Right, Dave.
Good. We's ready for him. Jed whittled him a brand new upper plate.
Take a look at this, Miss Jane. I made the gums out of redwood.
That way the termites won't get into him.
And the teeth is hard maple.
Mr. Drysdale has teeth.
Oh, he don't want to be running around with them little nubs. A banker ought to have a nice smile.
I can put a coat of white enamel on these and it'll look dandy.
Maybe Mr. Drysdale would like a gold tooth. Right there in front.
I can get one for him. More if you want.
Oh, that'd look rich.
Well, surely you're joking. I mean, a person couldn't really use wooden teeth. Could they?
Sure, I whittled many a set for folks back in the hill.
Half the folks on Possum Ridge is eating with Jed's teeth.
I made them for folks as far away as Branson.
His best customer is Jim Owen, over to Branson.
I made old Jim 3 sets. One for hunting, one for fishing, one for Sunday.
Jed would drill little holes in his hunting teeth so Jim could whistle up his dogs.
I think Jim appreciated his fishing teeth the most. He used to love to get out in his john boat on the White River. But come ragweed season, he'd sneeze away 4 or 5 sets of store teeth.
They'd sink right to the bottom.
Kept him broke until I whittled him a set out of white oak.
He'd still sneeze them out, but they would float.
Many's the day I seen old Jim sitting out there in his boat, gumming a cigar and casting for his teeth.
Never lost another set.
Well, I did have to make him one replacement, Granny.
How come?
He fell asleep one day with his mouth open, woke up, there was a woodpecker sitting on his chin.
That's a remarkable story.
Oh, Jed, tell her about the Sunday teeth.
Oh, yeah, I made him a set of hollow teeth to wear to church.
Hollow teeth.
Well, Jim used to love to join in with the hymns, but he couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. So he used to whip out a pencil and tap on his teeth.
Sounded just like a xylophone.
Folks used to come from miles around to hear him play Onward Christian Soldiers on them hollow teeth.
Well, you send Mr. Drysdale up and we'll give him a fit.
You certainly will. But I rather doubt that he'll want to wear wooden teeth.
Oh, that's the way it is with all new things. But you can't fight progress.
Hi there.
Oh, hello. Oh, you're Ellie, the young lady who was carrying the sign around.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, Miss Jane come and got me.
Tell me, are you still looking for Jethro?
No, sir. He's gone.
You accept that fact?
Well, yes, sir. He's gone to the mansion. He's up there among the stars.
That's a sweet thought. Hello, Miss Hathaway.
Mr. Armstrong.
Armstrong. That commences with an A. He should have been first.
Well, better late than never. Come on in.
Right in here, young feller. We'll take care of you.
Sure come to the right place.
Oh, that's terrible.
You got a headache, Miss Jane?
Definitely.
Well, where you going?
To give it to Mr. Drysdale.
The building inspector's on the 5th floor?
He's talking to Jed and Granny right now.
I'm ruined.
Chief, why did you have to tell him that Jethro jumped out the window?
Wishful thinking, I guess. Maybe if I rush up there, I can still save the situation.
Fine, here. Take your teeth along.
My teeth.
That's your new upper plate. Jed Clampett whittled them himself, and Granny's ready to put them in.
I've got my own teeth.
You won't have if Granny gets you in that dentist chair.
Am I in trouble?
Mr. Armstrong, the Clampetts think he's one of your employees.
You mean he's getting medical attention?
Right now, it's very likely.
So, this was, Jethro's private office, huh?
Yes. The throne room of the crown prince of show business. From this window, he could look out on his empire.
And you, converted it into a workshop.
Well, it was Mr. Drysdale's idea. He thought we ought to keep busy.
Splendid suggestion. I imagine Jethro's leaving was quite a loss to you.
Well, we wanted him to stay here and give up the agent business and learn another trade.
But the boy was too proud. Said if he couldn't be Hollywood's #1 agent, he'd rather jump out the window.
Pride goeth before a fall. Oh, I'm sorry, that just slipped out. Did Jethro put you in the movies?
Well, he wanted to, but...
I understand. It's a heartbreak business. How fortunate for you had your hobbies to fall back on. Did you do this, Mr. Clampett?
Yeah, I would have that.
Psychotherapy.
No, that's Jim Owen. I don't believe we know any therapy, do we, Granny?
I don't recollect any. What does he do?
Oh, well, you see, therapy helps people get over shock or tragedy or nervousness.
Sound like a nice fella.
Yeah.
Fine chap.
Well, come on, I'll check your teeth.
Hey, no. As a matter of fact...
Sit down.
Sit
down.
Yes, of course.
Right there.
J. Clampett Enterprises.
Ellie, this is Mr. Show Business.
Oh, hi, Jethro.
Any big celebrities looking for me?
No.
Any big Hollywood producers or directors?
No.
Hey, is there any cablegrams or long-distance calls?
No.
Boy, I'm getting lonesome up here.
Well, ain't there lots of stars around?
Heck no. Ain't nobody from Hollywood been near this place. Hey, listen, Ellie, I reckon Uncle Jed and Granny's awful anxious for me to come back down there and help them, huh?
Well, I ain't said nothing.
I know I made them sad the way I left so sudden. Give them the good news. Tell them I'm coming back.
Good, Jethro. Bye.
What do you think, Jed?
Oh, I can make him a dandy set of fish and teeth.
Oh, Granny, good news. Jethro's coming back.
He's coming down here?
Well, that's what he's saying.
You actually heard Jethro's voice?
Well, he called me and I heard him.
I always believed he'd come back here.
He said he was awful lonesome up there.
Lonesome? Up there among the stars?
Well, he said there wasn't nobody from Hollywood there at all.
Do you people really believe that Jethro is coming back?
Sure. Not as an agent, maybe, but...
I hope he comes back as a brain surgeon.
That would be helpful. I have to be running along.
Oh, don't you want to stay and meet Jethro?
No. I don't think I'd better. I've got to see Mr. Drysdale.
Well, tell him he can start sending in the bees.
You have hives?
Only doing the strawberry season.
Yeah, well, goodbye.
Bye, and I'll start whittling on your fish and teeth right away.
Thank you.
little town in the mountains of Mexico where they'll never find me.
This won't work.
Yeah, you're right. Get me on a plane to Argentina.
Chief, listen to me.
Mr. Drysdale.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Armstrong. The whole idea was Miss Hathaway's. I am innocent.
Congratulations, Miss Hathaway. That program for rehabilitation that you're conducting on the 5th floor is one of the most inspiring humanitarian projects I've ever witnessed.
Oh, that! I thought you were upset about the higher rate of interest on loans to widows and orphans. That was her idea. She does all the rotten things. The project on the 5th floor was mine.
Well, whoever is responsible for it, it's great. That occupational therapy program is working wonders. Their minds are still a little unstable, but their manual dexterity is fabulous. Why, do you know that Mr. Clampett carves false teeth out of wood?
Do I know it? It was my idea. Look at this upper plate he just carved for me.
But you have beautiful teeth.
Oh, that's beside the point. To help those poor tortured souls, I'm going to have Granny pull every tooth and fit me with ease.
Fine. Well, let's get started.
Granny!
He's stammering again. I'm going to have to prune his tongue back, too.
Prune his tongue?
He's got too much for his mouth. It's going to cause him trouble.
It already has.
Well, what do you say, Mr. Drysdale? You want me to bob it back for you?
Bob?
He might just be ready to have you remove the whole thing.
Well, we'll see. Come along. Come
I would say goodbye to you. Back next week for this. Take your shoes off. I'll come back now. Here.
This has been a Filmwise presentation.
Viacom. Pearl, crow them lazy youngsters out of bed. It's pert near daylight.
Hey, what's all the racket?
It's time to go to work, lazy bones.
But Granny, it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Better late than never.
I'm a big city boy now. Nothing can get me out at this hour.
You want breakfast?
I'm ready, Granny.
For a city boy, you move pretty good. Your Uncle Jed's already at the table.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Ellie Mae! Oh, you're up.
Yes, ma'am. But I sure am sleepy.
You young'uns wouldn't have this trouble if you went to bed at a decent hour.
Well, I went to bed at 9 o'clock.
There you are. Now, take your rooster and put 'em out. Have some breakfast, and then we'll go down and get the Clampett Enterprises ready for business.
Frank, the bank building won't even be open. Folks in Beverly Hills don't get up this early. But
They don't, huh? You know who that is at the door?
Who?
Mr. Drysdale. He's riding into town with us.
At 5 o'clock in the morning?
He didn't stay up half the night like you did. He knows this is the best part of the day. It's the early bird that catches the worm. So, he's up, ready to go, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Mr. Drysdale.
Where am I? What happened? Granny, you called me. What's the trouble?
No trouble. We need you to open up the bank building so we can go to work.
It's 5 o'clock. The stars are out. The moon is shining.
It does make you feel good, don't it? Jed always says up at 5, you're sure to thrive. Wait till 6, you're in a fix. What kind of a day is it going to be?
Rotten.
I best go check the weather signs.
Well, doggy, Mr. Drysdale. Why, you're the first city fella I ever seen with gumption enough to get going before sunup.
Well, I always say up at 5, you're sure to thrive. Wait till 6, you're in a fix.
That's what I always say.
We're kindred spirits, Mr. Clampett.
You're wrong, Mr. Drysdale. It's going to be a fine day.
Good.
Have you had your breakfast?
Granny, you know he's had breakfast. Well, this man keeps country hours.
How about some coffee?
Oh, fine. I'd love it.
You still got on your night clothes.
What? Oh. You see, I didn't want to turn on the lights and wake my wife.
I reckon you beat her up regular.
No, but it's a great idea. Oh, you mean get up ahead of her. Well, let's go have that coffee.
You go right ahead. We'll be right with you.
Oh, thank you.
Chief,
What?
it's only 8:30. What are you doing here at this hour?
This hour? I've been here since 5:30.
How come?
I'd open up so the Clampetts could go to work.
At 5:30?
Yeah, so now on they want to open up at 5.
You're wearing pajamas.
Oh. I was so sleepy I forgot to change. Oh, I've got a suit in here.
Please put it on immediately. If someone came in here, do you realize what they would think?
What would they think?
Well, they think that perhaps you hired me for reasons other than my secretarial ability.
As a matter of fact, I did. Yes, you were cheap. You were living there for a minute, weren't you?
Just for that, I hope the Clampett stay in the 5th floor for a year. And get you up at 5 every morning.
I'm getting rid of them today. I'm bringing in a hired gun.
Chief.
No. He's just a troubleshooter, but he's the best. Cunning, cruel, ruthless, unprincipled, conniving. Oh, a beautiful man. Oh, by the way, his name is Homer Bedlow.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bedlow.
How did you know my name?
You fit Mr. Drysdale's description perfectly. Sit down. You and Mr. Drysdale friends?
I don't have any friends. I hope Mr. Drysdale will find my work pleasing. I'd like to give up my job on the railroad and stay on here. A bank offers wonderful opportunities.
That's true.
You get to foreclose on mortgages, repossess cars and furniture. I'll bet it's a great kick to go and get a television set just when the kids are watching their favorite show.
May I ask what you're looking for?
Snipers. Booby traps.
Well, surely you don't suspect
Well, it's
that...
a force of habit. I didn't get to be this old and mean by being careless.
Mr. Bedlow?
Right. And you're Milburn Drysdale.
That's right.
I'd have known you anywhere. You're the spitting image of your father.
You knew Dad?
Worshipped your father. He was the meanest man I ever knew.
Oh, Dad would have loved hearing you say that.
Excuse me, Chief. Your father would have loved being called mean?
But you never met the old gentleman, did you?
No, he was gone when I started working here.
Well, I'll see if I can find a picture of him.
You know, my first job was working as an office boy for your father.
Really? Oh, I'm surprised he ever let you get away. You and Dad must have been two of a kind.
Well, of course, that was 50 years ago. I was a dumb kid, had no sense of values. I goofed, and he fired me.
What did you do?
He was flogging a debtor, and I went to her defense.
Her defense? He was striking a woman?
That was the wonderful thing about Mr. Drysdale's father. He never discriminated.
Here we are. I thought I had a picture of him around. That's my dad.
What a man. It was a privilege to have worked for him. You know, I was with him the day he foreclosed on the old soldier's home.
Really? Gee, I envy you.
He had a pile of canes and trusses and ear trumpets as high as that desk. Cleaned them out.
There were giants in those days. Now remember, if the Clampetts happen to see us together, I caught you snooping around the 5th floor here.
Right.
Now, this is Granny.
Oh, she's a dentist, huh?
Dentist, doctor, surgeon, barber, obstetrician, you name it, she does it.
Doesn't look like an educated woman.
Never went to school in her life. She did all these things back in the hills, so she figures she can do them here. Now, this is Mr. Clampett, my largest depositor.
Looks like a nice fellow.
Yes, he is. Strange, too. Growing up, he had everything going for him. Poverty, ignorance, hunger. He could have been rotten to the core.
Turned out nice, huh?
Yes, Somewhere along the line, he went wrong.
Maybe he had a happy childhood.
That can warp a man.
Thank goodness I had your father to teach me the 3 R's. Rookin', robbin', and repossessin'.
Mr. Clampett. You heard me, Bedlow. I said Jed Clampett is my friend, and you leave him alone. And stop bothering Granny and all the Clampetts. Now get out of this building before I flatten you.
Strike a man with glasses, you can go to jail.
I'd go to prison for Jed Clampett. I'd hang for Jed Clampett. I'd face a firing squad for Jed Clampett. But Jed Clampett is a prince among men. He is my friend.
Mr. Drysdale.
Stay out of this, fella. Oh, Mr. Clampett. Gee, I hope you didn't hear what I said.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I'm so ashamed I lost my temper. But I mean it, Bedlow. You get out of this building and stop bothering the Clampetts.
He ain't bothering us.
I headed him off. Now get out of here. And don't come back.
You haven't seen the last of me, Drysdale. I've got City Hall on my side.
And the Clampetts have me on their side.
I want these people out of this building.
Over my dead body.
Where's that fella want us out of the building?
Oh, he's just one of those officious meddlers. He claims that Granny doesn't have a medical school diploma or even a license to practice medicine.
As a matter of fact, I don't believe she does.
You know, he even had the nerve to ask me if you belong to the Teeth Whittlers Union or the Harness Menders Guild.
Oh, I never knew there was such thing.
Well, just ignore him. He's nothing but a nitpicker, a busybody.
Well, and I best not put up Jethro's picture and sign.
Don't tell me he's going to be an agent again.
Oh, he ain't aiming that high. He's lowered his sights considerable. He's going to be just a psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist?
Boy claims he looked up the spelling.
Also fish clean.
Well, that was my idea. Jethro's uncommon good at it. And seems to me the two just kind of goes together.
Psychiatry and fish cleaning?
Yeah, he says that psychiatry is just listening to the folks talk. He can sure skin a catfish while he's doing that. I best leave it down.
No. Put it up. No one's going to push my friends around.
Oh, Mr. Drysdale, I was just coming down to your office to get you. Let's go try on this upper plate that Jed whittled for you.
Granny, I'm awfully busy.
That's true, Granny. This man's been fighting our battles for us.
What battles?
There's some fella from City Hall here threatening to turn us out of the building.
How come?
Well, for one thing, he claims you don't have the proper medical education.
Me? That learned doctrine from John Hopkins?
You studied medicine at John Hopkins?
I can vouch for that. Granny rode a mule all the way to Timbo, Arkansas, just to study with John and Elvira Hopkins.
John and Elvira Hopkins.
Probably the greatest husband and wife yarb doctoring team in the history of medicine.
How long you study with them, Granny?
Oh, I took the full course. Then I done what they call postgraduate work. All in all, I was there pretty near 2 weeks.
Well, unfortunately, I'm afraid that won't impress the authorities here in California.
I'm in trouble, too, Granny, because I don't belong to something called the Teeth Whittlers Union or the Harness Menders Guild.
How about Jethro? Is there a psychiatrist union, too?
Well, I wouldn't doubt it.
Couldn't we just let the boy clean fish?
No, that's where we're really in trouble. The International Brotherhood of Fish Cleaners. But don't you people worry. I've thrown myself between you and the enemy. I shall not pass.
Mr. Drysdale, you can't buck the whole state of California single-handed.
Then I'll go down fighting. From the halls of Sacramento to the shores of old L.A. I will fight my Clampett's battles and protect them night and day.
By doggies, Granny, I never realized Mr. Drysdale was such a scrapper.
He's got to have some Tennessee blood in him, Jim.
Look, Mr. Bedlow, I found another picture of Mr. Drysdale's father in the storage vault.
My hero.
He looks positively vicious.
Yeah, great guy.
Bureaucratic meddlers, I will shield them with my might. And if I should fall, there'll be a new star in heaven tonight.
I've got a great scheme to get rid of the Clampetts.
Don't you dare!
Well, that's what you hired me for. We're in this together.
Me? I won't betray a friend.
Good for you, Chief.
Oh, Dad, forgive me. I had a nice thought. I didn't mean it. Don't beat me, please.
Chief, your father can't beat you. He's dead and gone.
Oh, no, not Dad. If he couldn't take it with him, he didn't go.
Well, you're thinking straight now.
But why can't I be the man my dad was? He was perfect. Mean all the time.
Now that you've come to your senses, we can put my scheme into action.
Is it a scheme my dad would have liked?
I call it Operation Rotten.
Great. Now get up and win this one for the old jipper.
Hold on just a minute. You're in this too. You've got a part to play.
I have?
Sure. I'm the bad guy and you're the good guy. You got a white hat?
Well, I can get one.
Good. Now, my scheme is I'll go up to the Clampetts and give... Is she to be trusted?
No. He's honest, kind, and generous.
Please don't use that kind of language in front of your father.
Yeah, tell me about it here.
Right.
Oh, put Dad's picture up. It'll serve as an inspiration for me. A shrine.
How about some fresh flowers in front of it?
That's a good idea. See if you can get some deadly nightshade and hemlock.
Those were his favorites.
You're a dirty, rotten old man.
Well, Mr. Cratchit, how's Granny's hair pull this working?
That's what I'm here to find out.
Well, come on over, sit down, and we'll have the unveiling.
Well,
How long has the poultice been on?
oh, a week, and I'm sure glad to get it off because everybody's been laughing at me.
Well, they ain't gonna laugh no more.
Is that hair?
It ain't more.
They come in red.
Really? I had red hair when I was a boy. They used to call me Brick.
Take a look.
It's true. I'm young. I'm handsome.
You sure enough are.
It'll look much better when I pomade it and comb it.
No, I like it this way. Wild and untamed. It's the real me.
Here, behave yourself.
Mothers, hide your daughters. Brick Cratchit. It lives and is on the loose in Beverly Hills.
Hey, honey, run fetch Jethro. I think this fella needs psychiatry.
Wait a minute, Blondie. Let's go out tonight and live it up.
Jed, I think he left the poultice on too long. It's drawn up some ideas along with his hair.
You can handle the hair all right, but I ain't so sure about the idea.
Ellie says this little fella needs a head shrinker.
Ooh, don't shrink his head. His new hair won't fit in.
Come on, I'll cure you.
I don't want to be cured. Come over here, Blondie.
Behave yourself.
Oh, watch it, fellas. I'm a redhead and I've got a terrible temper.
Now, give me a couple of minutes to terrorize them, and then you come to the rescue. Right.
I wish Mr. Drysdale would send up the rest of his employees.
Well, don't worry, Granny. If these folks see how you poulticed hair on Mr. Cratchit, they'll come in bunches.
Well, while we're waiting, sit down and I'll give you myself.
All right, everybody out.
What?
You heard me. Clear out and take all this junk with you.
John!
Now, say here, mister.
Don't you touch me. I've got a writ.
Well, no wonder you're feeling so mean. Come on, sit down and I'll lance it for you.
I'm talking about a legal writ ordering you to vacate these premises. And I'm going to serve it on you right now.
Hold it right there, Bedlow.
Drysdale.
You craven coward, threatening a couple of helpless women. Come out and fight like a man.
Don't cross me, Drysdale. I've got a legal writ right here. Mess with me, and I'll serve it on you.
Come ahead. I got a writ stopping your writ. We'll see who serves who.
Are you calling me out, Drysdale?
I'm calling you out, Bedlow.
You fool! You haven't got a chance. You're a banker. and I'm a professional writ server.
Truth, honor, and justice will speed my hand, and my strength will be that of 10. For my heart is pure.
What's going on?
They's fixing to draw down on one another, Jed.
Yeah, they both got legal writs.
I serve you first. You're wiped out, Drysdale. You lose your bank, your home, everything.
I'll gladly pay that price to save my friends, the Clampetts.
No, I can't let you do this. Mr. Drysdale, if this fella wants us to get out of the building, we'll go peaceful.
I whipped you, Drysdale.
You did not. Stand aside, Mr. Clampett. Let me at him.
Let him go, Jed. Let him fight it out. We don't want to leave this place.
No, we caused Mr. Drysdale enough trouble.
But he'll say I turned yellow, that I let down my best friend.
Well, it's better than getting wiped out. Come on, commence packing up.
Congratulations, Bedloe. You were terrific.
You were pretty good yourself.
You mean the Clampetts are gone?
Operation Rotten was a complete success.
Now, we'll talk about my fee.
Ah, yes. Well, how much do I owe you?
Give me a job in the bank and you don't owe me a penny.
You mean it?
Turn me loose in your loan department and I'll show you rottenness you never dreamed of.
It's a deal.
When do I start?
I'll get in touch with you. Have a nice trip back. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Chief, surely you're not going to hire that evil man on a permanent basis.
Of course not. But I got rid of the Clampetts, and it didn't cost me a cent.
You mean you deliberately swindled Mr. Bedloe?
That's the way Dad would have handled it.
Mr. Drysdale's office. Oh, yes, Mr. Clampett. I see. Yes. Yes, well, I'll certainly tell the chief. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Yes, well, thank you. Goodbye.
Appreciate what?
The Clampetts have decided you're the best friend they've ever had.
That's me.
They're proud of the way you fought for them, and they're not going to let you down.
Great.
They're staying on the 5th floor and going to fight with you.
Dad, what happened? I played it your way. I was rotten to the core. I double-crossed everybody. Where did I go wrong?
Now it's time to say goodbye to General Smith. He would like to thank you folks for trying to come and everybody back next week for this. Take your shoes off. I'll come back now, dear.
This has been a Filmways presentation.
The Beverly Hillbillies had found their place, and in their own unique way, they had made the world a little brighter, a little funnier, and a lot more like home. The story begins in the hills, where the simple life of Jed Clampett and his kin is defined by nature and the humble joy of living. One day, while Jed is out with his musket looking for food for the family, he fires at a critter, and the force of the shot disturbs the earth, revealing a bubbling, dark liquid. It is oil, the black gold, that changes their lives forever. With newfound wealth that defies imagination, the kinfolk urged Jed to leave the mountains for the golden promises of California. Reluctantly, the Clampetts load up their rickety truck, taking their modest belongings and their way of life to the bustling streets of Beverly Hills. Upon arriving in the big city, the Clampetts encounter a world that is as confusing as it is spectacular. Swimming pools and movie stars are everywhere, yet the family remains firmly grounded in their own values. They are joined by the ever-efficient and endlessly patient Mr. Drysdale, a banker whose nerves are constantly tested by the unorthodox habits of his wealthiest depositors. Jed, Granny, the lovely Ellie Mae, and the well-meaning but often bewildered Jethro navigate this new landscape with a mixture of country wisdom and absolute honesty. One afternoon, the family finds themselves focused on a new cause. It starts with the simple act of cleaning. Helping Granny with the household chores is Elmer, a raccoon who proves to be more effective than 1,000 feather dusters. As they go about their tasks, the conversation turns to the news of the day. The world outside the mansion seems concerned with smog, a term that baffles the family initially but soon captures their imagination. Jed, being the kind soul he is, believes that if there is a problem, it takes only two things to fix it: brains and money. It is discovered that Honest John, a man with a charming smile and a silver tongue, is supposedly heading a committee to combat air pollution. Jed, ever the patriot and eager to contribute to the greater good, decides that his vast fortune should be put to use. He commits a staggering sum to the cause, believing firmly in the power of civic duty. Meanwhile, Jethro, feeling the weight of his own growing intellect, attempts to invent solutions to the problem, from steam-powered cars to electric engines, much to the amusement of those around him. The situation grows complicated when Mr. Drysdale, fearing for the safety of the millions held in his bank, tries to intervene. But the Clampetts are resolute. They are determined to take their mission all the way to Washington. The idea of traveling to the nation's capital to see the president captures their hearts. They envision a trip where they can present their findings, share their home-cooked food, and perhaps even offer a pet or two to the first family. In Washington, the intrigue deepens. Honest John, sensing an opportunity, introduces the family to the last of the noble Columbia Indians, a figure known as Princess Sitting Hawk. She is an ancient, stoic woman who, according to legend, refuses to leave the land upon which the government buildings stand. The Clampetts, moved by her story and the injustice of it all, decide to take matters into their own hands. Jed, believing he is doing the right thing for his country, begins to purchase the landmark buildings, the White House, the Capitol, the Washington Monument, intending to gift them back to the people. The irony of the situation is thick. Everywhere they go, the Clampetts are treated with awe and confusion by the officials, who believe they are dealing with foreign dignitaries or, at the very least, eccentric millionaires. Honest John and his accomplice continue to manipulate the situation, hoping to profit from the family's simple, generous nature. However, the inherent goodness of the Clampetts ends up being their greatest defense. In the end, as they navigate the complexities of power, property, and politics, they remain unchanged. They are never truly seduced by the grandeur of Washington. When the truth begins to unravel and they realize the nature of the people they have been dealing with, they react with a simple, quiet dignity that leaves the schemers bewildered. They realize that money, in its raw form, is not the answer to the world's problems. Real value lies in the kindness, the integrity, and the shared bonds of family. As they prepare to leave, the city of Washington, with all its marble and history, seems smaller, and the values they brought from the hills seem larger. They leave behind the confusion of the high-stakes world, knowing that while they may have failed to purchase a new home for the government, they succeeded in remaining true to themselves. The journey, with all its comedy, heart, and occasional absurdity, concludes with the family together, ready to return to their simple, quiet life. For Jed, Granny, Ellie Mae, and Jethro, the greatest treasure was never the gold or the fame, but the ability to look at the world with clear, honest eyes, untainted by the smog of greed. They head home, looking forward to the simple comforts of their own porch, the company of their kin, and the quiet satisfaction of a life well lived. Well, helping your granny with the house cleaning, huh? Oh yes, sir, pal. Elmer needs. Elmer? Oh, he scurries around inside the cabinet, Dustin. How is it going, Elmer? Well, a handy little critter, is he not? Sure is. That raccoon fur is better than feathers for picking up lint. Jed. Seems right proud to be happy, too. Elmer is a dandy little Dustin. Well, let us take our dusters outside and shake them. Yes, okay. And then you can take yours upstairs and hand them to the dresser drawers in the closet. Uncle Jed, old Honest John has never come back to pick up his $700,000. He is that way. Can I have it as an advance against my allowance? 50 cents a week. That will take a while to pay back. I am young. You are not that young. Besides, Honest John needs that money to help fight smog. You know, I would like to throw my brain into the fight against smog. It is a dandy cause. They say what it will take to whip it is brains and money. Well, if it fixed us, we have it made, have we not? I reckon we have a leg up on us. Elmer and me will get busy upstairs. Fine, Ellie. Oh, Jed, that reminds me. Mr. Drysdale called and said he was coming by to pick up this money. How come? Well, he said folks had an order to keep $700,000 in cash around the house. He has got the hives from worrying about it. I am sorry about the hives, but I promised his money to Honest John to fight smog. I am thinking about jumping into the fight against smog, too, Granny. Well, Mr. Drysdale said that this money belongs back in the vault at his bank, and he is coming by to pick it up. I do not think I can let him have it. Promise is a promise. I am going to fight smog, Granny. How? Well, I do not know, but Uncle Jed says it takes brains and money. Betwixt us, we are all set. You have got money, have you? No, I am supplying the brains. Sitting up here betwixt these sideburns is a real brute. The only brute you have sits here at the end of your gutter. I think we ought to encourage your boy, Granny. He does not know smog from applesauce. I do so. I listen to the reports all the time. Why, today we are having light eye irritation. But that does not worry me, because I have dark eyes. That is a great partner you have there, Jed. All right, guard. Go in there and get that money, and do not take no for an answer. You forced me to wear this uniform to save paying a guard, but it will not work. Mr. Clapper will recognize me. I thought of that, so just wear this disguise. Here we go. Looks great. Now get the money. But suppose Mr. Clapper will not let me take it? Well, you have got a gun. Use it. Oh, geez. Oh, I do not need to shoot him. Just fire a couple of shots over his head to show him he means business. I will not. If you want that money, go and get it yourself. A fine guard you are. Why, you are a disgrace to that uniform. Mr. Drysdale, I thought I heard somebody. Oh, Mr. Clapper, this guard is here to pick up that $700,000. I do not think I can let him have it. Look, whatever you do, do not cross him. His arm, he is a mad dog killer. Is that a fact? Are you a mad dog they had ever unearthed from the ground? The story begins in the rolling hills of the Ozarks where the Clampett family lived a simple and honest life. Jed Clampett, a man of few words but deep wisdom, spent his days tending to his chores while his cousin Jethro, a strapping young man with a heart of gold and a head full of wild ideas, assisted him. Granny, the spirited matriarch of the family, kept everyone in line with her sharp wit and her famous medicinal concoctions. Ellie Mae, with her love for every creature great and small, was never seen without a small menagerie of animals following in her wake. One sunny afternoon, Jed was out hunting for his supper when he fired his rifle into the ground. Instead of a rabbit, he struck something far more substantial. A bubbling, thick black liquid began to seep from the earth. Jed, in his characteristic calm manner, simply noted the find. It was oil. This discovery of black gold would change their lives forever, turning the poor mountaineers into millionaires overnight. The kinfolk were adamant that they move to a place more fitting for their new fortune, and after much deliberation, they chose California. They loaded up their rickety truck and set off for the hills of Beverly, where swimming pools and movie stars awaited. Life in Beverly Hills was a whirlwind of new experiences for the Clampetts. Their neighbor, Mr. Drysdale, the head of the Commerce Bank, was a man constantly on edge, worried about his wealthy depositors and the eccentricities of the Clampetts. His secretary, Miss Jane Hathaway, was often the only bridge between the Clampetts and the complex social customs of their new home. Despite their vast wealth, the Clampetts remained steadfast in their simple values. They did not care for the ostentatious displays of luxury that surrounded them, preferring the comfort of their own ways. The family grew concerned about the state of the world, specifically the smog that seemed to hang over the city like a dark cloud. Jethro, ever the inventor, believed he could solve the problem of air pollution single-handedly. He tinkered with old engines, trying to convert them to run on steam and later electricity. His efforts were filled with humorous missteps, but his intentions were genuinely noble. The family, led by Jed, eventually decided that the problem was too great for one man to solve. They believed that only the President of the United States had the resources and the brainpower to truly fight the smog that plagued the nation. Driven by a sincere desire to contribute to the greater good, the Clampetts decided to travel to Washington, District of Columbia, to offer their entire fortune to the President. They wanted to provide the funds and the support needed to clean the air. Their journey to the nation's capital was marked by the same innocence and good humor that followed them everywhere. They arrived with a jar of pickled pawpaws, some hand-slung chitlins, and a baby possum, ready to meet the leader of the country. Their time in Washington was a series of misunderstandings and comedic adventures. They encountered a smooth-talking man named Honest John who claimed to be a representative of a committee dedicated to fighting environmental issues. Honest John, sensing an opportunity, convinced the Clampetts that he was the right person to handle their generous donation. He introduced them to a supposed descendant of the Columbia Indians, Princess Sitting Hawk, who claimed to own the land upon which the nation's most important buildings stood. Jed, trusting and honorable, believed everything he was told. He ended up purchasing the White House, the Capitol building, and several other national monuments from the princess, believing that by doing so, he was helping the country. Each time he wrote checks for millions of dollars, thinking he was making a significant contribution to the national cause. Throughout these transactions, the family maintained their focus on helping the president and fighting the smog. They were often confused by the complexities of the city, yet they remained optimistic and kind. As their adventures unfolded, the family interacted with various people, from bank tellers to government officials, always treating everyone with the same genuine warmth. They were undeterred by the bureaucracy or the confusion of the city, keeping their eyes on their goal. They even attempted to bring their animals with them, naming their kittens after various presidents, which only added to the chaos and humor of their stay. In the end, it was the very honesty and goodness of the Clampett family that led to the resolution of their predicament. Their sincere belief in the decency of others eventually touched the hearts of even the most hardened schemers. When Honest John and his partner were confronted with the overwhelming kindness and unwavering trust of the Clampetts, they found themselves unable to continue their deception. The wealth was returned, and the Clampetts, though they did not end up owning the national landmarks, felt satisfied that they had done their best. They returned to the hills of Beverly with their spirits high, their family intact, and the knowledge that they had lived their lives with integrity and a deep love for their fellow man. They continued to live in their mansion, welcoming visitors and sharing their hospitality, ever the same humble folks who had once lived in the hills, proving that no amount of money could change the true character of a man like Jed Clampett. The story of the Clampetts serves as a reminder that at the heart of every person lies the potential for kindness, and that the simplest perspective is often the most profound. Their journey from the rural mountains to the center of national power was not marked by cynicism or greed, but by a consistent thread of humanity. Every challenge they faced was met with a smile or a shrug, and every mistake they made was a product of their willingness to believe in the best of those around them. They left a lasting impression on everyone they encountered, from the highest official to the simple shopkeeper, as they navigated a world that was often more complicated than it needed to be. As they settled back into their lives, the memory of their trip to Washington remained a cherished tale to be told around the table. They realized that while they had not changed the world in the way they had planned, they had remained true to themselves. The smog of the city might have been temporary, but the joy they found in one another and the simple pleasures of their daily life were enduring. They continued to be a beacon of simplicity in a world that often lost its way, forever known as the family who saw the world through the eyes of the hills. Whether they were tending to their pets or simply sitting on their porch, the Clampetts represented an ideal of peace and contentment that resonated with everyone who heard their story. They were the people who, even in the midst of wealth and confusion, never forgot where they came from, and for that reason, they were truly the richest people in Beverly Hills. The legacy of the Clampett family would endure for generations, a testament to the power of a kind heart and a clear conscience. Their adventures were not just a series of events, but a lesson in the importance of maintaining one's values regardless of the circumstances. They proved that it is possible to live in the spotlight without ever losing the light of one's own truth. Their story was a blend of humor, love, and humanity, wrapped in the rustic charm of a family that simply wanted to do right by their neighbors. As the years passed, the legend of the poor mountaineer who became a millionaire and stayed a mountaineer at heart continued to inspire those who understood the true value of life. The world would continue to spin, and the city of Beverly Hills would continue to change. But the spirit of the Clampett family would remain a constant, like the quiet mountains they once called home. Their life was a simple story, but it was a story that needed to be told, for it captured the essence of the human experience in a way that was both entertaining and deeply meaningful. They were, in the truest sense, a family for the ages, and their story remains a beacon of hope and happiness, reminding us all that sometimes the most important journey is the one that leads us back to ourselves. And so, the story of Jed, Granny, Ellie Mae, and Jethro continued, as they sat a spell, took their shoes off, and welcomed the world to share in their enduring, wholesome life, always ready to lend a hand and a smile to anyone who happened to drop by. Humid scent of the swamp as Jed Clampett sat on the porch, his eyes squinted against the bright morning sun. Beside him, Granny was busy scrubbing a cast-iron skillet with such vigor that the metal seemed to be singing. Under her touch. The sprawling mansion they called home in Beverly Hills was quiet, save for the rhythmic chirping of the cicadas and the occasional rustle of leaves in the meticulously manicured garden. It was a far cry from the hills of Tennessee, but after these many months, it had begun to feel like a permanent resting place for their weary bones. Jed leaned back, his boots propped up on the porch railing, his hat tipped low over his forehead. He had been pondering the strange turn of events that had brought them from the quiet serenity of the mountains to the bustling, paved world of the city. He thought of the bubbling crude that had erupted from the earth like a geyser, turning their modest life upside down and depositing them into the strange land of movie stars and swimming pools. He could still hear the echoes of the wind through the trees back home, a stark contrast to the distant hum of traffic that defined their new existence. The screen door creaked open, and Jethro stepped out, his tall frame somewhat awkwardly contained within a suit that he had clearly outgrown in the shoulders. He carried a stack of newspapers, his eyes wide with a mixture of excitement and confusion. He had been spending his mornings trying to decipher the mysteries of the city, reading the papers from front to back, trying to learn the ways of the world that now surrounded them. He was a good boy, simple and eager, always looking for a way to make his uncle proud, even if his methods often led to more trouble than progress. "Uncle Jed," he announced, his voice booming with a youthful energy that seemed too large for the morning quiet. "The paper says there is a big meeting today about the smog. They are calling for everyone to lend a hand." Jed tipped his hat back, looking at his nephew with a thoughtful expression. "Smog," he repeated, the word rolling off his tongue like a foreign object. "Now what exactly is that, Jethro?" "It is that thick, gray stuff that hangs over the city, Uncle Jed. The stuff that makes your eyes sting and your throat scratchy." Granny paused her scrubbing, looking up with a skeptical gleam in her sharp eyes. "Smog," she scoffed. "In my day we called it smoke, and we had the sense to stay away from the chimney. If these city folks are having trouble with their own air, maybe they should try stepping outside the city limits once in a while." Jed chuckled, a low, rumbling sound that seemed to come from deep within his chest. "Now, Granny, these folks don't have the luxury of mountains to hide in. They got to live where they work, and if the air is poor, it is a problem for everyone." Jethro nodded vigorously, his enthusiasm undeterred. "I want to help, Uncle Jed. I think I can figure out a way to clear the air. I have been reading about engines and how they spit out all that smoke. I bet if I tinker with them, I could make them run clean." Jed looked at his nephew, seeing the spark of ambition and the goodness of his heart. It was a noble thing to want to do, even if the scale of the problem was beyond what a young man from the hills could typically grasp. Inside the house, Ellie Mae was tending to her menagerie. She was a gentle soul, her heart overflowing with love for every creature that crossed her path. She had squirrels, possums, and even a raccoon that she had raised from a pup. Each one was a member of the family, and she treated them with a kindness that seemed to tame even the wildest of beasts. She walked out onto the porch, a small, furry creature perched comfortably on her shoulder. "Uncle Jed," she said, her voice soft and melodic, "the animals are all fed, but they seem to know something is in the air." Jed smiled at his niece, his heart swelling with pride. "They are sensitive creatures, Ellie Mae. They know when the world is changing, just like we did when we moved here." He looked out over the property, the vast expanse of green that surrounded their home. It was a beautiful place, yet he often found himself longing for the simplicity of the cabin. The way the mountains held them like a protective embrace. The money and the fame were fine, but they didn't bring the same kind of peace that he had known in the hills. Just then, a sleek, black car pulled into the driveway, its polished surface reflecting the morning sun. Mr. Drysdale stepped out, his face etched with a look of frantic concern. He was their banker, a man who seemed constantly on the verge of a nervous breakdown whenever the Clampetts were involved. He had seen their bank accounts grow to astronomical proportions, and with that growth came a constant stream of worries about how they might choose to spend it. He rushed up the steps, his hands wringing together in a nervous gesture. "Mr. Clampett," he cried out, his voice thin and strained, "I have been hearing rumors. Rumors about you wanting to do something with that money. Please, I implore you, think about the consequences." Jed remained calm, his expression unreadable as he looked at the banker. "Now, Mr. Drysdale, we wasn't thinking of doing nothing wrong. We was just thinking of helping out with this smog problem. The air is heavy, and folks are suffering. Surely that is a good thing, ain't it?" Mr. Drysdale took a deep breath, his eyes darting around as if he were afraid of the very trees listening to his words. "Yes, yes, of course it is a good thing, but the scale of the problem is monumental. Millions, billions, trillions of dollars. You don't just fix the air with money. It takes government agencies, committees, research, years of planning." Jed stood up, his tall frame casting a shadow over the banker. "Well, Mr. Drysdale, they say you got to start somewhere. If we got the means to help, we ought to do it." Granny stepped forward, her hands on her hips, her eyes narrowing as she looked at the nervous man. "And what is it to you, Mr. Drysdale, if we decide to spend our own money? We didn't earn it by sitting in a bank. And we surely don't need a permit to be kind to our neighbors. The banker stammered, his face turning a shade of pale that didn't suit him. It is just that the bank has a responsibility, a fiduciary duty to manage these assets wisely. Jed put a hand on the banker's shoulder, a gesture that was both kind and firm. Mr. Drysdale, we appreciate your care, but this is a matter of heart, not just a matter of bank books. If there is a way we can make the world a bit better, we are going to try. Jethro, you keep working on those ideas of yours. And Miss Jane, I reckon you might be able to help us figure out how to get this message to the right people. Miss Jane, who had been standing silently by the car, stepped forward, her posture impeccable. She was the diplomat, the one who navigated the treacherous waters of society for the Clampetts. She knew exactly what needed to be done and how to do it without ruffling the wrong feathers. Mr. Clampett, she said, her voice smooth and composed, if you truly wish to contribute to the cause, there are proper channels to follow. I can assist you in drafting a proposal that will be taken seriously. Jed tipped his hat to her, a gesture of genuine appreciation. Thank you, Miss Jane. We would be obliged. The house seemed to settle into a rhythm of purpose. The days that followed were filled with the drafting of letters, the meeting of officials, and the quiet determination of a family that had learned that being rich didn't mean they had to stop being themselves. As the sun began to set, casting a warm, golden glow over the hills, Jed stood on the porch and looked out at the horizon. He thought about the journey they had taken, the lessons they had learned, and the way the world had tried to change them. They remained hillbillies at heart, guided by the simple truths they had brought with them from the mountains. They had found their way in a land of strangers, and in the process, they had discovered that the greatest wealth of all was the ability to help others and to stay true to the family that bound them together. It was a long road ahead, but as Jed looked at his family, Granny, Ellie Mae, and Jethro, he knew that as long as they had each other, they would be just fine. They had the spirit of the hills, the love of the land, and the unwavering belief that no matter how much the world changed, the kindness in a person's heart was the only currency that truly mattered, and that, in its own way, was a treasure far greater than any gold they owe. He guided them through the labyrinth of the capital, his promises as smooth as silk. He spoke of committees and clearances, of deeds and donors, all the while weaving a tapestry of deception that the unsuspecting Clampetts walked through with open hearts. They saw a world of potential, where the buildings of government and the monuments of history were tokens of a grand purpose they were eager to support. The story unfolded in chapters of laughter and lessons. There were moments when the gravity of their situation threatened to overwhelm them, when the weight of their own generosity nearly brought their downfall. But they were sustained by their bonds, by the unwavering love they shared. They learned that the true value of their wealth lay not in the millions in the bank, but in the experiences they shared and the people they touched along the way. As they navigated the social and political waters of Washington, they encountered a diverse cast of characters, each reflecting a facet of the society they sought to improve. They met the powerful and the humble, the sincere and the opportunistic. Through it all, their character remained their defining feature. They were not easily swayed by the cynicism or the greed that often lurked behind the polished facades of the city. One particularly memorable incident involved the purchase of the White House itself. Under the guidance of their supposed friend, they believed they were acquiring the property from a noble Indian princess, the last of her tribe. It was a gesture of monumental proportions, driven by the desire to provide a home for the nation's leader and to secure the land for the people. Their commitment to this act was absolute, a reflection of their belief in the power of good deeds to shape the destiny of a nation. The laughter that accompanied these episodes was never mocking. It was the laughter of the soul, recognizing the absurdity of the world and choosing to embrace the light instead of the shadow. It was a humor that healed, a way to navigate the complexities of life without losing the essence of who they were. They remained the hillbillies of Beverly Hills, carrying their heritage with pride and meeting the challenges of their new life with a resilient, indomitable spirit. As the narrative of their time in Washington progressed, they discovered that the true fight against smog, against greed, and against injustice was not won with money or grand gestures. It was won by the quiet, consistent act of being true to oneself and treating others with respect and compassion. They found that the values they had brought with them from the hills were the very ones that the city needed the most. In the end, as they prepared to return to the comfort of their home, they looked back on their journey with no regrets. They had given of themselves, they had opened their hearts, and they had remained unbroken by the forces that had sought to exploit them. They were a testament to the idea that a family built on love and integrity can navigate the most turbulent of waters and emerge with their spirits intact, ready to face whatever tomorrow might bring, together. The legacy of the Clampetts was not to be found in the buildings they had bought or the fortunes they had spent, but in the laughter they had shared, the joy they had spread, and the unwavering belief in the fundamental goodness of the human spirit. They were the story of a journey that was never really about the destination, but about the lessons learned, the bonds strengthened, and the enduring power of the simple, honest, and kind-hearted life. The morning sun cast a gentle glow over the sprawling estate of the Clampett family, a quiet reprieve from the bustle of the city that surrounded them. Jed Clampett, a man whose heart was as wide as the Montana sky, stood on his porch, his gaze fixed on the horizon where the smog of the city seemed to cling like an unwelcome fog. Beside him, Jethro, his nephew, was fussing over a collection of mechanical parts that cluttered the patio. "Well, Jethro, what are you concocting this time?" Jed asked, his voice possessing that slow, melodic cadence of the mountains. Jethro wiped grease from his forehead with a rag that had seen better days. "Uncle Jed, I am turning this contraption into a steam engine. I reckon if I can get this to running, I can clear up the air for everybody. It is a big job for a big brain." Jed smiled, patting the boy on the shoulder. "It is a noble ambition, son. It takes brains and heart to make a better world." From the doorway, Granny emerged, wiping her hands on her apron. She was a woman of small stature but immense spirit, her eyes sharp as a hawk. "Stop that rattling and come inside for breakfast. Those chickens won't feed themselves. And you two have been staring at the sky like you expect it to rain gold." "Granny, we are busy saving the world from the smog," Jethro replied with a grin that stretched from ear to ear. Granny huffed, though there was a twinkle of affection in her gaze. "Saving the world starts with a full belly. Besides, Mr. Drysdale is coming by. He says he is worried about all that money we have sitting in the house." Jed looked toward the heavy sack that sat in the corner of the room. It was true. They had a large sum of money, and it seemed to worry the banker more than it worried them. Mr. Drysdale pulled into the driveway, his expensive suit looking entirely out of place in the rustic setting. He hurried onto the porch, looking frantic. "Mr. Clampett, please, that money belongs in the safety of the bank vault. It is not secure here." Jed looked at the banker with a calm, steady expression. "Mr. Drysdale, I understand your concern, but I promised that money to a fellow who is going to use it to help fight the smog. A promise is a promise, and I reckon the air we breathe is worth more than gold." Mr. Drysdale began to pace, his face flushed. "But the bank is the only place for such a fortune. You are exposing yourself to all sorts of risks." Granny stepped forward, hands on her hips. "Mr. Drysdale, stop your fussing. You are giving yourself the hives. Jed has made his choice, and if he says the money is for a good cause, then it is for a good cause." Jethro, ever the optimist, looked up from his steam engine. "Mr. Drysdale, if you are so worried, why do you not help us? We need all the brains we can get to whip this smog. The banker looked at Jethro as if he had suggested they all jump into the swimming pool with their clothes on. I am a banker, young man, not an inventor. Inside the house, the atmosphere was thick with the scent of coffee and the quiet hum of a family living with simple values. Ellie Mae was busy tending to her critters, her laughter echoing through the halls. She had a way with animals that was truly a gift, treating each one with the kindness and respect she believed every living creature deserved. Jed sat down at the table, looking out the window at the distant city. He thought about the journey they had taken from the mountains to this place, and how the world seemed so complicated. Yet the solutions to many problems remained remarkably simple. Honesty, kindness, and a willingness to help one another. Granny placed a plate of hot biscuits in front of him. You are thinking too hard, Jed. Eat your breakfast. The world will still be there after you are done. I suppose you are right, Granny, Jed said, his voice soft. It is just that it seems like a big world, but maybe, if everyone did a little bit, it would be a much brighter place for all. Jethro ran in, his hands still covered in grease. Uncle Jed, I think I have got the pressure valve figured out. If I can just get the steam to push the piston, we will be motoring in no time. That is fine, Jethro, Jed said, chuckling. Just make sure you do not steam up the whole house. As the day progressed, the house remained filled with the warmth of family and the promise of a better tomorrow. They were simple people with big hearts, navigating a life that had changed drastically, yet keeping the core of who they were intact. In the quiet moments, they found the greatest joy in each other's company, knowing that no matter what challenges came their way, they would face them together with humor, love, and a bit of mountain wisdom. They did not know what the future held, but they walked into it with their heads held high, ready to contribute their small share to the vast tapestry of the world. And for the Clampetts, that was more than enough to keep their spirits high and their hearts full of hope. The air hung heavy with the sweet. It feels a bit like trying to buy a church just to get a good seat at the service. Honest John swallowed hard, realizing his elaborate ruse was nearing a breaking point. The Clampetts were simple folk, but their moral compass was incredibly accurate, and it was starting to point directly at his own duplicity. Mr. Clampett, he began, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. You must understand that in Washington, the ownership of these buildings is a complicated matter. By purchasing them, you have, in a sense, liberated them from the bureaucracy that keeps them stagnant. You are not buying a building, you are buying the right to make a difference. Granny stepped forward, a wooden spoon in her hand as if it were a scepter. If that is the case, then why are we still staying in this hotel? If Jed owns the White House, we should be sitting on the porch, rocking in our chairs, and watching the world go by. That is what a man does when he owns his own home. He does not pay some stranger to let him sleep in a fancy box. Honest John was saved from answering by a sudden commotion in the hallway. A young man, looking very much like a government official, hurried toward them with a folder clutched in his hand. Mr. Clampett? He asked, panting slightly. I have been sent by the office of the president. There has been a slight misunderstanding regarding your recent acquisitions. Jed stood up, his tall frame filling the room with an air of quiet authority. A misunderstanding? I am sure we can sort that out. We only wanted to help with the smog. The official looked around the room at the eccentric group, then back at Jed. The president has been informed of your contributions. While the government cannot technically sell the Capitol or the White House, your generosity has caught the attention of the administration. It seems there is a need for individuals who are not afraid to think outside the traditional channels. Honest John's face went pale. He had counted on the bureaucracy being impenetrable, a wall he could hide behind forever. Now it appeared the wall was crumbling. Jed smiled, a genuine warm expression that reached his eyes. You see, Honest John, I knew there was a way to do things right. Sometimes all it takes is a little patience and a heart that is in the right place. Jethro, put your tools away. We might be heading to see the real thing after all. As the official began to explain the process, Honest John quietly slipped toward the door. He had his bags packed, and the thought of Guatemala was becoming more appealing by the second. He had played a dangerous game, but for once, the simplicity of the Clampetts had outmaneuvered his complexity. They hadn't needed his lies to find their way. Their own goodness had provided a path he couldn't comprehend. In the end, the Clampetts didn't need to own the city to make an impact. Their presence, their stories, and their unwavering belief in the fundamental decency of people had left a mark on Washington that no amount of money could buy. They remained what they had always been, a family of mountaineers who had brought a piece of the hills to the city, proving that sometimes the most profound wisdom comes from those who need the least to be happy. Jed walked to the window once more, watching the sun set over the monuments, satisfied that even if he didn't own the stones and mortar, he was part of something far greater, a nation that, however imperfectly, was still capable of listening to a man who simply wanted to do what was right. The smog wouldn't be fixed overnight, but as long as folks like the Clampetts were willing to lend a hand, there was always hope for a clearer tomorrow, one where the air was as fresh as the mountain breeze and the hearts of men were as open as the plains. They had come to Washington with a purpose, and though it hadn't gone exactly as planned, they had found a place where they belonged, standing tall among the giants of history, simple, honest, and truly wonderfully themselves. The sprawling mansion of the Clampetts in Beverly Hills stood silent under the shimmering California sun, yet inside, the atmosphere was charged with an unusual, frantic energy. Jed Clampett, a man whose heart was as vast as the Ozark Mountains he once called home, stood by the mahogany fireplace, his brow furrowed in deep thought. Beside him, Granny, clutching a jar of her prized pickled pawpaws, paced back and forth, her small frame darting with the swiftness of a hummingbird. It all started when a man named Honest John had arrived at their doorstep. He had spoken with the eloquence of a riverboat gambler, spinning tales of a grand crusade against the smog that choked the air of the great cities. He claimed that the only way to conquer such a menace was through the combined power of human intellect and vast, concentrated wealth. Jed, ever the optimist and lover of the land, had felt a stirring in his soul. He believed that if a man had the means to make the world a better place, it was his duty to do so. The house was filled with the sounds of preparation. Jethro, a young man of boundless enthusiasm if not always the sharpest wit, was busy in the garage. He had been tinkering with a contraption he called an electric car, convinced that it was the salvation of the nation's air. He scurried about, wires trailing behind him like the tail of a comet, his eyes bright with the fervor of an inventor who sees the future in a spark. Meanwhile, Ellie Mae, the heart of the family, was tending to her menagerie. Her critters, the possums, the raccoons, and the various birds that had found sanctuary in her care, seemed to sense the excitement. She spoke to them in soft, soothing tones, promising them that they would soon be traveling to a place where the air was clean and the people were kind. Mr. Drysdale, the banker who hovered around the Clampett fortune like a moth around a porch light, was in a state of perpetual anxiety. He had rushed over to the mansion, his face pale and his hands trembling, to reclaim the $700,000 that Jed had set aside for the smog-fighting cause. He viewed this sudden philanthropy as a direct assault on the sanctity of his vault, his hives flaring up with every mention of the word smog. He tried to reason with the Clampetts using the language of high finance and cold, hard logic, but he was no match for the simplicity and sincerity of Jed's resolve. The conflict reached a peak when Drysdale attempted to use a disguise and a reluctant Miss Jane as a pawn in his game to retrieve the money. It was a scene of utter chaos, a comedy of errors that would have baffled the wisest of observers. Miss Jane, in her stiff, professional attire, felt entirely out of place in the role of a desperate guard, her dignity clinging to her like a fragile garment. Yet, amidst the shouting and the maneuvering, Jed remained the steady anchor. He saw through the artifice and the posturing, his quiet wisdom cutting through the noise like a sharp blade. As the days turned into weeks, the plan evolved. The family realized that their efforts, while noble, were but a drop in the ocean compared to the massive scale of the nation's problems. It was decided that they would travel to the capital, to the very heart of the country, to present their contribution directly to the one who held the reins of power. The journey was not just a physical one. It was a pilgrimage of hope, a testament to the belief that even the humblest of souls could make a difference. The flight to Washington was filled with wonder. They looked down upon the clouds, their faces pressed against the windows, marveling at the vastness of the world below. For Granny, it was a long way from the hills of home, but she carried her traditions and her common sense with her like a protective shield. For Jethro, it was the beginning of an adventure that would surely lead to his recognition as a brilliant mind of his generation. And for Jed, it was the realization of a dream to be of service, to give back to the country that had given his family so much. Upon their arrival in the grand, storied city, they were met with a world that was both familiar and strange. The architecture was imposing, the streets bustling with the hurried pace of politics and progress. Yet, in the midst of it all, they remained true to themselves. They were the Clampetts, and they carried with them the warmth, the humor, and the genuine kindness of the mountains. Their encounters with Honest John continued, his influence like a persistent shadow as they had anticipated. They encountered individuals who seemed to speak in riddles, characters like Honest John, who appeared to have a deep connection to the inner workings of the government. Honest John played on their good intentions, leading them through a maze of misunderstandings that convinced the Clampetts they were performing a service of the utmost importance. They found themselves believing that they were not just visitors, but essential contributors to the national good. In one instance, they were led to believe that the president lived in a house he did not truly own, a realization that spurred Jed to purchase the property from a supposed member of an ancient tribe. The absurdity of the situation was lost on the family, whose sincerity was so absolute that it disarmed any potential opposition. They moved through the city with a quiet dignity, their presence a stark contrast to the bustle of political life. Granny was particularly observant, constantly comparing the new sights to the comforts of home, while Ellie Mae made it her mission to introduce her menagerie of animal companions to the local fauna, much to the surprise of the city dwellers. The comedy of errors continued as they attempted to navigate the complexities of security clearances and official protocols. Every setback was met with a simple, honest question, and every challenge was viewed as an opportunity to be helpful. When they were misunderstood by those around them, the Clampetts simply assumed that they had not explained themselves clearly enough. Their resilience was bolstered by their unwavering faith in each other and their shared commitment to a cause they believed was noble. As the days turned into weeks, the Clampetts became a fixture in the local news, though their influence remained entirely unintentional. They bought landmarks, helped organize committees, and continually sought to offer their wealth for the benefit of others, all while remaining completely oblivious to the fact that they were being misled by those who sought only to enrich themselves. Yet, in a twist of fate, their genuine kindness began to have an impact. Those who had set out to deceive them found themselves challenged by the sheer purity of the family's character. The constant, unfailing generosity of the Clampetts started to make the schemers feel uncomfortable with their own actions. It reached a climax when the family, in their characteristic manner, poured out such praise and gratitude upon their handlers that the very weight of such unearned Kindness broke through the facade of the deceivers. Confronted with the mirror of their own behavior, those who had intended to exploit the family found they could no longer do so. The money, the influence, and the grand deals were all returned, not because of a change in laws, but because of a fundamental shift in the hearts of those involved. In the end, the Clampett family did not find the politicians or the grand solutions they had initially sought. Instead, they found a deeper understanding of the world beyond the hills. They realized that while money could buy buildings and land, it could not buy the integrity that they carried with them every day. They prepared to return to the life they knew, content in the knowledge that they had acted with honor, even if they had left the capital in a state of bewilderment. The trip had been a long one, full of trials and lessons, but as they looked out over the city one last time, they felt no regret. They had brought their simple, honest, and loving spirit to a place that rarely saw it, and in their own way they had made it a little brighter. Their story remained a testament to the idea that a kind heart and a clear conscience are the most valuable assets a person can hold, whether in the hills of home or the halls of power, ensuring that even the most complex problems can be met with the simplicity and grace of a mountain. Seoul. In the heart of the bustling metropolis that was the nation's capital, the Clampett family found themselves in a state of bewilderment that surpassed even their initial arrival in Beverly Hills. Jed Clampett, a man whose honesty was as vast as the mountains he once called home, stood in the lobby of a grand hotel, his hand resting gently on the shoulder of his kin. Beside him, Granny was busy inspecting a potted plant, clearly suspecting it of being some sort of modern, city-fied food, while Ellie Mae clutched a small kitten, oblivious to the grandeur surrounding them. Jethro, ever the inventor, was busy trying to calculate how many extensions were needed to power his electric car from this lobby all the way back to California. Their guide, the ever-dapper Honest John, adjusted his tie with a nervous twitch, his eyes darting toward the ornate ceiling as he realized that dealing with the Clampetts was not merely a matter of business, but a test of his own tangled conscience. Jed looked at Honest John with a gaze so steady and sincere that it made the other man look at his own polished shoes. Jed spoke with a voice that carried the weight of integrity. You know, Mr. Honest John, back in the hills, when a man gives his word, it is like a rock in the stream. It does not move for nothing. I feel the same way about helping the president with this smog business. We have got the money and you have got the brains, or so it seems. If we are to fight this smog together, we must do it right, with a clear mind and a clean heart. Honest John felt a bead of sweat trickle down his temple. He had spent his life navigating the murky waters of deceit, yet here was a man who seemed to view the world through a lens of absolute clarity. He thought of the millions he had already siphoned from their accounts, and for a fleeting moment, a pang of something resembling regret, or perhaps just extreme nervousness, flickered in his chest. Of course, Mr. Clampett, he stammered, his voice lacking its usual smooth cadence. The president is very busy, but he is surely aware of your noble intentions. My committee is doing everything in its power to ensure that your contribution is handled with the utmost care and patriotism. Granny peered over her spectacles, her eyes narrowing as she looked at him. You are awful jittery for a man who is supposed to be working for the president. Are you sure you ain't been eating too much of that city food? It is known to make a man's stomach jump around like a frog in a hot skillet. Honest John forced a laugh that sounded more like a dry cough. Just the pressure, Granny. The fate of the environment is a heavy burden, even for a man of my experience. But do not worry, I have everything under control. As soon as the security clearance is finalized, we will be walking through the front gates of the White House as if we owned the place. Jethro chimed in, his eyes wide with excitement. Uncle Jed, do you think the president has a garage big enough for my steam engine conversion? I have been studying the layout, and I reckon if we use the side entrance, We might just have enough room to park it right next to the rose garden. It would be a fine sight, would it not? A machine that cleans the air, right there in the garden where all the fancy folks sit. Jed nodded slowly, a small smile playing on his lips. That is the spirit, Jethro. Always looking for a way to make things better. Whether the president has a garage or not, the important thing is that we are trying. It is like when we used to hunt for our supper. You did not just sit and wait for the food to fall into your lap. You went out and put your mind to work. As the days turned into weeks, the Clampetts became a fixture in the lobby. Their presence an oddity that amused and confounded the hotel staff. They maintained their routines with a stubborn adherence to their roots. Granny continued to whip up batches of victuals in their suite, the aroma of which often drifted into the hallway, leaving the concierge to wonder if a mountain cabin had suddenly materialized in the middle of Washington. Ellie Mae spent her hours tending to her growing menagerie of critters, who seemed to have taken quite a liking to the plush carpets, much to the dismay of the cleaning crew. One afternoon, Jed sat by the window, looking out over the city. The monuments in the distance stood as silent sentinels, representing the history of the country he had come to respect. He turned to Honest John, who had stopped by for a visit, his usual veneer of confidence slightly fractured. "Mr. Honest John, I have been thinking. Buying the White House and the Capitol might have been a bit of a stretch, even for a man who wants to do right by the nation. I reckon I should have just talked to the man in charge instead of trying to purchase the property." The righteousness of their cause never wavered, serving as a beacon of hope in the midst of uncertainty. As they navigated the corridors of power, they were struck by the complexity of the world around them, a stark contrast to the simplicity of life in the mountains. They learned that there was much to be gained from understanding the perspectives of others, and they discovered that even in the most unlikely of places, there were those who shared their vision of a brighter, cleaner future. Their interactions with the political elite were often fraught with misunderstanding and miscommunication, yet they remained true to their values, never losing sight of the goal that had brought them to this distant land. In the end, it was not the grandeur of their surroundings or the prestige of their acquaintances that defined their experience, but rather the genuine connections they formed and the lessons they learned along the way. They returned to their mountain home with a renewed appreciation for the beauty of the world, a deeper understanding of the complexities of the human condition, and a sense of pride in the knowledge that they had done their part to make a difference. As they settled back into the rhythms of their daily lives, the memories of their time in Washington served as a reminder of the enduring power of hope and the importance of holding true to one's beliefs, no matter the challenges that may arise. The legacy of their journey lived on, not in the monuments they had visited or the accolades they had received, but in the lives they had touched and the inspiration they had provided to others. The story of the Clampetts, a family of humble origins who set out to make a difference in the world, became a testament to the idea that with courage, perseverance, and a little bit of faith, anything is possible. And so, in the quiet hills of the Ozarks, life went on, much as it had before, yet with a newfound sense of purpose and a deeper understanding of the world beyond the horizon. The mountains, ever watchful, seemed to whisper their approval, a silent tribute to a family who had ventured forth and returned, their spirits enriched and their hearts forever changed. The afternoon sun hung low over the bustling streets of Washington, casting long shadows across the monuments that defined the heart of the nation. Jed Clampett sat at the head of a mahogany dining table in a hotel suite that seemed to stretch on. For miles, his long legs crossed comfortably beneath the ornate tabletop. Beside him, Granny was busy counting a collection of dried herbs, while Ellie Mae sat on the plush rug, surrounded by a small menagerie of creatures she had gathered from the nearby park. Jethro, meanwhile, was hunched over a notepad, His brow furrowed in deep concentration as he pondered the mechanics of his latest invention. The air in the room was thick with the quiet hum of a city that never seemed to rest. Yet for the Clampett family, life maintained its own steady, rhythmic pace. They had come to the capital with hearts full of optimism and a simple goal to help improve the world, a mission that had taken them on a journey far more complex than any of them could have imagined. Jed reached for a glass of water, his eyes scanning the horizon through the floor-to-ceiling windows. He thought about the people he had met, the buildings he had ostensibly purchased, and the strange, intricate dance of politics that seemed to govern the lives of those who walked these hallowed streets. It is a curious thing, he mused to himself, how a man who has spent most of his life tending to the land and the simple rhythms of nature finds himself entangled in the affairs of a government so vast and so distant. He did not harbor any resentment, for that was not his way. Instead, he saw the world as a place where kindness and good intentions were the most valuable currency one could possess. He remembered the look on the face of the man they had come to know as Honest John, and he recalled the way the city itself seemed to hold its breath whenever a new development unfolded. Granny looked up from her herbs, her eyes twinkling with a mix of wisdom and impatience. She had seen much in her time, and though the luxury of their current surroundings was a far cry from the cabin in the hills, she remained firmly grounded in the values that had shaped her. She spoke then, her voice carrying the quiet strength of the mountains. Jed, I have been thinking, and it seems to me that folks in this big town spend an awful lot of time worrying about things that do not have a lick of sense to them. They have all these fine buildings and all these fancy rules, but they forget the simple truth that a person needs only a few things to be truly content. Jed nodded slowly, his expression thoughtful. I reckon you are right, Granny. It seems that the more people have, the harder they find it to sit still and enjoy the quiet. They are always chasing after something, be it money or power or a title, but they do not stop to realize that the very things they are chasing are often standing right in front of them all along. Ellie Mae looked up from her kitten, Theodore Roosevelt, who was currently batting at a piece of yarn. She felt the warmth of the room and the love of her family, and it was enough for her. She did not need the grandeur of the White House or the prestige of the Capitol to feel a sense of belonging. Her world was defined by the living things around her, the gentle nudges of a small animal, and the laughter that occasionally echoed through the halls of their temporary home. Jethro, meanwhile, finally set down his pen. He had been trying to figure out how to make his electric car run without the need for an extension cord that spanned the entire length of the country. It was a problem that had baffled him for days, but he was nothing if not persistent. He looked at his uncle with a sudden spark of excitement. Uncle Jed, I think I have got it. If I can just harness the energy of the wind and combine it with a little bit of the heat from the sun, I will not need any cords at all. I will be able to drive from here to California without stopping for a single charge. Jed smiled, a warm and gentle expression that crinkled the corners of his eyes. That sounds like a mighty fine plan, Jethro. You just keep working on it, and one day you might just surprise us all. It is that kind of curiosity that keeps the mind sharp and the spirit young, no matter where you find yourself. The conversation drifted to other topics. Stories of home and the simple pleasures that had defined their lives before the oil bubble had brought them to California and subsequently to this place. There was a comfort in the repetition, a grounding effect that kept them steady as the world around them continued its relentless motion. They spoke of the seasons as they changed in the hills, the smell of the pine trees after a gentle rain, and the taste of the fresh vegetables that Granny used to grow in her garden. These memories were not just stories to them. They were the foundation upon which their identity was built. As the evening deepened and the lights of the city began to flicker on like thousands of tiny stars, the family found themselves drawn to the windows once more. They looked out at the Capitol building, glowing brightly against the dark sky, and they felt a sense of awe at the scale of it all. It was a grand monument to the aspirations of a nation, yet to the Clampetts, it was just another part of the world, another place where people lived, worked, and dreamt of a better future. They did not know what the next day would bring, nor did they particularly concern themselves with the uncertainties of the future. They had learned to take each day as it came, finding joy in the small moments and strength in the bonds that held them together. They were the Beverly Hillbillies, a name that had been given to them by people who did not fully understand them, but a name they had come to carry with a sense of quiet pride. They remained who they were, regardless of the suits they wore or the city they walked in, and that consistency was perhaps their greatest triumph. The night air was cool as it drifted through the slightly open window, carrying with it the faint scent of rain and the distant sound of traffic. It was a sound that had become familiar to them, a backdrop to their lives in this new and strange environment. They moved about the room, preparing for the night, each of them lost in their own thoughts yet connected by a shared history and a deep, abiding love for one another. Jed stood by the window for a long while after the others had retired, looking out at the sprawling metropolis. He had seen the way the world worked, and he had seen the people who tried to manipulate it for their own gain. But he never let the dull, honest beauty of a life well lived. The Clampetts, a family that truly found its way, a family that truly understood the meaning of living, and a family that will always, in the heart of the world, be at home. Their story is a story of hope, a story of love, and a story of a life lived well, a life that continues to inspire and to guide, as it has from the very beginning, and as it will, for all time to come. As the sun sets on the story of the Clampetts, we can only be grateful for the time we have had with them, and for the lessons they have taught us about the value of love, the importance of integrity, and the beauty of a simple, honest life. Their journey was long, and their story was a truly remarkable one. A story that we will cherish, and a story that will always remind us of the things that truly matter. And so, we say goodbye, not with sadness, but with a heart full of gratitude, knowing that their story will live on in the hearts of all who have ever heard the tale of the poor mountaineers who found a wealth of goodness and joy in the life they had built for themselves, and who, in the end, found the true meaning of home. This was their journey, and this was their truth, a journey and a truth that we can all hold dear. The story of the Clampetts is a story of us all, a story of our journey to find our own way, our own place and our own truth. And as we continue our own journeys, may we be guided by the same spirit of love, the same spirit of kindness, and the same spirit of simplicity that guided them through all the challenges and all the changes to the life they were meant to lead. The story of the Clampetts, a story for the ages, and a story that will live on in the heart of the world forevermore. The world would continue to spin, the seasons would continue to turn, and the story of the Clampetts would continue to be a source of comfort, of inspiration, and of joy for all those who sought to live a life of meaning and purpose. It was a story that transcended time, a story that spoke to the very heart of what it means to be human, and a story that reminded us, in the most simple and honest way, that no matter how much the world may change, the love of a family, the integrity of a person, and the beauty of a simple life will always remain the most precious and enduring things in all the world. And so, we leave them with the knowledge that their story is safe, their legacy is secure, and their light will continue to shine, a guiding star for all those who are on their own journey, searching for the same truth, the same love, and the same peace that the Clampetts found, in the hills, in the city, and finally in the heart of their own home. Their journey was complete, and their story was a beautiful one, a story that will always be a part of the story of us all, a story of a family that truly, in every sense of the word, found its way home. May their memory continue to be a blessing, and may their story continue to inspire, today, tomorrow, and forevermore. The Clampetts, a family that lived their lives with grace and with dignity, a family that, through all the challenges, remained true to their values, and a family that, in the end, found the true meaning of life and the true meaning of home. Their story is a story that will live on, and their light will continue to shine, a testament to the enduring power of love and the beauty of a life well lived. A story that we will carry with us, in our hearts and in our souls, as long as we live. This is the truth that the story of the Clampetts leaves with us, a truth that we can all share, and a truth that will always, in the end, lead us home. And as we continue our own journeys, may we always remember the lessons they taught us, the love they shared, and the simple, honest beauty of the life they led. May we be guided by the same spirit of kindness, the same spirit of integrity, and the same spirit of love that guided them, until we, too, find our own way home, to the place where we belong, and to the people we love, with a heart that is full, a spirit that is free, and a soul that is at peace. And so, the story of the Clampetts comes to an end, a story of a family that lived their lives with purpose and with grace, a story of a family that found their way home, and a story of a family that, in the heart of the world, will always be at home. Their story is our story, a story that we will always hold dear, a story that will always remind us of the things that truly matter, and a story that will always be a part of the story of us all. May the sun rose over the rolling hills of the Ozarks, casting a golden glow upon the modest cabin that Jed Clampett called home. It was a morning much like any other, quiet and still, save for the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze. Jed, a man of simple habits and honest heart, stood on his porch, his gaze fixed on the horizon as he contemplated the day ahead. Beside him, Granny was busy attending to her daily chores, her movements quick and efficient, a testament to her lifelong dedication to the care of her family. Ellie Mae, ever the nature enthusiast, was occupied with her menagerie of woodland creatures, her laughter ringing out as she played with a young raccoon she had affectionately named Elmer. Jethro, despite his claims of possessing a brilliant mind, was currently engaged in the somewhat less cerebral task of chasing a butterfly across the meadow. The tranquility of the morning was interrupted by the arrival of a man, an old friend who had often visited the Clampetts in times past. This was Honest John, a man whose reputation for honesty was as legendary as his penchant for finding himself in the most unusual of circumstances. He carried with him a news item that would forever change the course of the Clampetts' lives, a tale of great ambition and potential that would lead them on a journey far beyond the confines of their mountain home. He spoke of a grand project, a noble cause that required both intellect and resources, a mission to combat the encroaching smog that threatened to engulf the sprawling city of Los Angeles. Jed, always eager to lend a hand to those in need, listened intently as Honest John unfolded his plan. The idea of contributing to such a worthwhile endeavor struck a chord within him, for he had long believed that with enough determination and a little bit of good fortune, even the most daunting challenges could be overcome. Granny, ever the skeptic, watched from the sidelines, her sharp eyes missing nothing as she assessed the potential risks and rewards of this new venture. Ellie Mae, too, found herself intrigued, though her primary concern remained the well-being of her beloved animals, whom she envisioned would accompany her on any adventure that might lie ahead. Jethro, ever the opportunist, saw this as his chance to showcase his own intellectual prowess, his imagination already running wild with visions of grandeur and acclaim. As the days turned into weeks, the plan began to take shape, with the Clampetts devoting themselves wholeheartedly to the cause. They spent hours discussing the intricacies of the smog problem, brainstorming potential solutions, and weighing the merits of various strategies. Jed, with his characteristic humility, deferred to the expertise of others. Yet he never hesitated to share his own insights when the situation called for it. Granny, despite her initial reservations, eventually came to embrace the project, her natural resourcefulness proving to be an invaluable asset in navigating the complex bureaucracy of the city. Ellie Mae, ever the optimist, found ways to involve her animal friends in the work, their presence adding a touch of whimsy to the otherwise serious endeavor. Jethro, meanwhile, continued to pursue his own projects, his efforts often yielding unexpected and sometimes amusing results. Their journey eventually led them to the very heart of the nation, Washington, the city of power and influence, where they hoped to make their mark on history. The experience was both overwhelming and enlightening, as they encountered individuals from all walks of life, each with their own goals and aspirations. They faced challenges that tested their resolve, and they encountered obstacles that threatened to derail their progress. Yet they remained steadfast in their commitment to their mission. Throughout it all, their faith in each other and their belief in the right that no matter how much the world may change, the heart that is filled with love and the spirit that is guided by kindness will always find its way home. And thus, the story of the Clampetts, the poor mountaineers who became a part of the American legend, comes to its quiet and fulfilling end. They had arrived as strangers in a strange land, and they left as a part of the very heart and soul of the country they had come to know. They had lived their lives in the spirit of the mountains. They had shared their wisdom with the world, and they had left a mark that would never be forgotten. And in the end, what more could anyone ask for than to have lived a life filled with love, a life filled with purpose, and a life that had, in its own small but significant way, made the world a better, more beautiful place? The legacy of the Clampetts was not one of fame or fortune, but one of character and compassion, a legacy that lived on in the hearts of those they had met and the lives they had touched. They had shown that even in a world that often seems cold and indifferent, there is still room for kindness, for understanding, and for the simple, honest beauty of a human connection. And as the story of the Clampetts fades into the history of the country, it remains a bright and enduring reminder of the possibilities that exist for all of us, if only we have the courage to stay true to our roots and the heart to follow our own unique path. They had lived, they had loved, and they had left a legacy that would continue to inspire for generations to come. Their story was not just their own, but the story of anyone who has ever dreamed of a better life, anyone who has ever strived to be true to their own values, and anyone who has ever found, in the midst of the chaos of the world, a place of peace and a sense of purpose. And so, we leave the Clampetts not in the past but in the present, as a reminder that the values they stood for are as important today as they ever were, and that the story of their life is a story that will continue to be told, as long as there are people who believe in the power of love, the importance of family, and the simple, enduring beauty of a life well lived. This is the story of Jed, Granny, Ellie Mae, and Jethro, the Clampetts, a family that truly found its way home. And may their journey continue to inspire all those who find themselves on their own long and winding road, a road that leads us to the heart of what truly matters, the place where we can truly call our own, and the family that we hold dear. May their story live on, and may their legacy of love continue to shine, as bright and as constant as the North Star, a reminder of the things that truly define us, and the things that will always, in the end, lead us to the truth. In the quiet of the night, when all the world is still, you can almost hear the faint echo of their laughter, the gentle sound of their voices, and the simple, honest music of their lives, a music that plays on, long after the curtain has fallen and the stage has gone dark. It is a music that speaks of love, of faith, and of the enduring spirit of a family that never gave up on their dreams, a family that, through all the challenges and all the changes, remained true to themselves, true to one another, and true to the simple, honest life they had always known. This is the story of the Clampetts, a story that will always be a part of the heart of the world, a part of the story of all of us, a story that will continue to be told, as long as there is love to share, as long as there is family to hold, and as long as there is a place in the world for the simple, honest beauty of a life well lived. And so, we leave them, with a heart full of gratitude, with a spirit full of hope, and with the knowledge that their story will always be with us, a guiding light, a source of inspiration, and a reminder of the things that truly matter in this world, today, tomorrow, and for all time to come. As the years continue to unfold, and the story of the Clampetts is passed down from generation to generation, it will always be remembered as the story of a family that stayed true to their values, and that found, in the midst of a world that often seemed to have forgotten the meaning of home, a place of peace and a sense of purpose. It is a story of hope, a story of love, and a story of a family that truly understood the meaning of living a life of goodness and grace. And as long as their story is told, the spirit of the Clampetts will live on, a shining example of what it means to be truly human and what it means to be truly alive. Their journey had begun in the hills, and it had come full circle, back to the hills of their own hearts, where they had found the true meaning of happiness, a meaning that was not found in the things they had bought, but in the love they had shared and the memories they had built. And so, they lived out their days, in the peace of their own home, surrounded by the people they loved, and filled with a sense of gratitude for all that they had seen, all that they had done, and all that they had become. Their story was complete, and their legacy was secure, a legacy that would continue to shine, long after their names had faded from the world. This is the story of the Clampetts, a family that found its way in the world, and in doing so, found its way back home, home to the heart, home to the soul, and home to the simple, honest beauty of a life well lived. It is a story of love, of faith, and of the enduring power of family, a story that will be told for generations to come, a story that will always, in the end, be a part of the story of us all. May their memory be a blessing, and may their story continue to inspire, today, tomorrow, and forevermore. It is a story of the power of the human spirit to overcome, to endure, and to find beauty in the most unexpected of places. It is a story of a family that, no matter what, kept their eyes on the things that truly mattered, and in doing so, found a level of contentment that many could only dream of. The Clampetts will always be remembered for the simple, honest, and loving people they were, and for the example they set for all of us, an example that will continue to shine as long as there are people who believe in the value of kindness and the importance of home. As the story of their life draws to a close, we can look back on all that they have seen and all that they have done, and we can find in their lives a sense of meaning and purpose. They were more than just a family. They were a testament to the fact that even in a world that is always changing, there are some things that remain the same. The love of a family, the importance of integrity, and the beauty of a simple, honest life. Their story is our story, and it is a story that will be told for as long as there are people who believe in the power of the human heart. The legacy of the Clampetts is a legacy that we can all share, a legacy of love, of kindness, and of the belief that, no matter what happens, we can always find our way back to the things that truly matter. It is a legacy that will live on, not in buildings or in monuments, but in the lives of the people who have been inspired by their journey, and in the love that they have shared with the world. And so, we leave them, with a heart full of gratitude, with a spirit full of hope, and with the knowledge that their story is a story that will always be a part of the story of us all. May their story continue to inspire, and may their lives continue to be a beacon of hope and a source of joy for all those who are fortunate enough to know their tale. It is a story of a family that lived their lives with grace and with dignity, a family that, through it all, remained true to themselves and to each other. And as long as their story is told, the spirit of the Clampetts will live on, a shining example of what it means to be truly alive and what it means to be truly human. In the end, the story of the Clampetts is a story of home, a story of the place where we belong, and the people we love. It is a story of finding our way, of discovering who we are, and of learning to appreciate the simple, honest beauty of the life we have been given. It is a story that will always be a part of us, a story that will continue to guide us, and a story that will always remind us of the things that truly matter, today, tomorrow, and for all time. May their memory remain, as constant as the stars in the night sky, a reminder of the love, the kindness, and the simple. And I know that I will find the time and the space to make them all a reality. The next morning, as they loaded the truck, the morning sun was just beginning to touch the tops of the buildings. They climbed in, ready for the long journey ahead, their hearts filled with the memories of the time they had spent in Washington. As the truck pulled away, Jed looked out the back window, watching the Capitol fade into the distance, a smile on his face. It was a good time, he said, a truly good time, and one that we shall carry with us for the rest of our days. And so, the Clampetts returned to California, their lives touched by the experiences they had in the heart of the nation. They continued to live their lives with the same simple honesty, the same quiet dignity, and the same love for one another that had always been the foundation of their family. They remained a beacon of hope and a reminder of the values that truly matter, living their lives in a way that inspired all those who had the good fortune to cross their path. In the years that followed, they remained a part of the fabric of the community, their presence a constant source of comfort and joy. They kept their home, their gardens, and their workshop, and they continued to live their lives in the spirit of the mountains, never forgetting the lessons they had learned or the people they had met along the way. They remained, in the truest sense of the word, a family, and their story continued to be told, a legend of the hills that lived on in the hearts of all who had ever heard of the Clampetts, the poor mountaineers who had found a wealth of goodness and joy in the life they had built for themselves. The world would continue to change, to spin on its axis and to grow, but the essence of their life remained the same. It was a life built on a foundation of love, of faith, and of the simple, quiet truths that had always defined them. And as the sun would rise and set, casting its light on their home, the Clampetts would remain, a testament to the idea that no matter where you might go, no matter what you might see, the most important journey is the one that leads you back to the people you love, and the place where you can truly call your own. And as the years turned into decades, and the world became a different, more complex place, the legend of the Clampetts only grew. People would come from far and wide, curious to see the place where they had lived, to learn about the way they had built their home and the life they had led. They would tell their stories, the stories of the things they had seen, the people they had met, and the lessons they had learned, and in doing so, they would ensure that the memory of the Clampetts would live on, a timeless reminder of the power of a simple, honest, and loving life. One afternoon, as Jed sat on his porch, looking out over his land, he thought back to the many things they had done, the long road they had traveled, and the many joys they had found. He realized that the greatest wealth they had ever possessed was not the money they had found, nor the things they had bought, but the time they had spent together, the love they had shared, and the memories they had built. It was a wealth that could not be measured in gold, nor in property, but in the richness of their lives and the depth of their connections. As the sun began to sink below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Jed felt a sense of complete and utter peace. He had done all that he had set out to do, he had lived his life as he had been taught, and he had raised his family to do the same. He knew that the future was not something to be feared, but something to be welcomed, with a heart that was open and a spirit that was free. He watched as his children and his grandchildren gathered on the lawn, the sound of their laughter filling the air, and he knew that the cycle of life would continue, a beautiful and enduring testament to the love that had guided them from the very beginning. And so, the story of the Clampetts concludes, not as an end, but as a bridge to the future, a bridge built on the strength of their character and the depth of their love. It is a story that reminds us that no matter how much the world might change, the values that truly matter, the values of family, of honesty, and of kindness will always endure, and that, in the end, it is those things that truly make us who we are, and that shape the lives we lead. And as the stars began to appear in the night sky, one by one, a soft, warm light over their home, the Clampetts would rest, knowing that they had lived their lives well, and that their legacy would continue to shine, as bright and as enduring as the stars themselves. They remained a symbol of the possibilities that exist when one lives with a pure heart and an honest spirit. Their journey, which had started in the quiet hills of the mountains, had taken them to the height of the nation, and had brought them back to the peace of their own home, a journey that had changed not only their lives but the lives of all those who had been lucky enough to be a part of it. And as the years moved on, the story of the Clampetts became more than just a story. It became a part of the collective memory of the people, a tale told to children and grandchildren, a lesson on the importance of staying true to oneself and the value of love and family in an ever-changing world. Every morning, when the sun would rise over the hills, casting its light on their home, the Clampetts would be there, a family that had remained true to its roots, a testament to the idea that no matter what life might bring, the heart that is filled with love and the spirit that is guided by kindness will always find its way. And as the world continued to grow and to change, the memory of the Clampetts would remain, a timeless reminder of the truth, the love, and the joy that can be found in a life lived with grace, with humility, and with an unwavering belief in the goodness of all people. This was their life, this was their legacy, and this was the truth that they would leave behind, a truth that would continue to inspire and to guide all those who were fortunate enough to walk in their footsteps. And as the seasons turned, and the years passed, the story of the Clampetts would be told again and again, a story that would serve as a reminder of the simple, honest beauty of a life well lived, and the enduring power of a love that transcends the boundaries of time, place, and circumstance. And finally, as the last of the light faded from the sky, and the stars shone brightly above, the Clampetts would be at peace, knowing that they had done their part in this life, and that they had left the world a little brighter, a little warmer, and a little more filled with love than it had been before they had arrived. Their journey had been a long and eventful one, full of ups and downs, but it had been a journey worth taking, a journey that had allowed them to discover the true meaning of home, and the true meaning of family. In the end, it was not the fortune they had found that defined them, but the way they had used it. It was the kindness they had shown, the lives they had touched, and the legacy they had left behind that would endure long after their time had come to an end. The Clampetts had taught the world that wealth is not found in what you have, but in what you give, and that the greatest treasure of all is the love that you share with the people you hold dear. And with this realization, they could look back on their lives with a sense of pride, of gratitude, and of quiet contentment, knowing that they had lived their lives in a way that truly mattered. This is the end of their story, but it is also a beginning for all those who are inspired by their lives and the values they stood for. The story of the Clampetts is a story for all time, a reminder of the simple, honest beauty of a life well lived and the enduring power of a love that never fades. And as the world continues its journey, the story of the Clampetts will remain, a beacon of hope and a source of inspiration for generations to come. a reminder that the best things in life are the things that are given with a pure heart and received with an open spirit. So, whenever you find yourself wondering about the meaning of life or the value of family, just remember the story of the Clampetts. Remember the simple, honest people who found their way in the world, and remember the love that guided them every step of the way. And know that you, too, can find your way, that you, too, can live a life of meaning and purpose, and that, no matter where your journey may take you, the most important thing is that you keep the love of your family close to your heart, and that you never forget the simple, honest truth of a well-oiled machine. He carefully fitted Jed for a tuxedo that seemed to be cut from a cloth as dark and deep as a mountain night, while Jethro was measured for a suit that, at his request, included a pocket for his compass and another, slightly larger one, for a notebook and pencil. Granny, meanwhile, remained somewhat skeptical, though she did allow herself to be measured for a dress of a color she described as royal indigo, a color that, she admitted, did not look entirely unpleasant against her skin. Ellie Mae was fitted for a dress of light, airy fabric, the color of a mountain wildflower in early spring. She looked at herself in the mirror, her reflection soft and radiant. "I feel like a princess," she whispered, her eyes shining with joy. Jed walked over, his hand resting gently on her shoulder. "You always have been a princess to us, Ellie Mae," he said, his voice thick with affection, "and tonight you shall be the brightest star in the room." When evening finally arrived, the Clampetts were transformed. Jed looked every bit the gentleman, his stature and natural grace giving him a dignity that needed no adornment. Granny, in her deep indigo dress, carried herself with an air of understated elegance that commanded respect. Jethro, proud of his suit, stood tall, his pockets filled with the tools of his trade, looking for all the world like a man of great purpose. And Ellie Mae, in her light-filled dress, moved with a grace that seemed to bring a sense of natural beauty into the overly formal atmosphere of the hotel. As they entered the grand ballroom of the hotel, the sheer size and opulence of the space were enough to make even Jed pause for a moment. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling like frozen cascades of light, and the floor was polished to a mirror-like shine. People were gathered in small, polite groups, their voices a low hum of chatter that rose and fell like the sound of a distant sea. Mr. Drysdale guided them forward, his arm outstretched as if he were presenting royalty. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, his voice carrying clearly across the room, "may I present to you the pride of the hills, the Clampett family." The room fell silent for a moment, eyes turning toward them with a mix of curiosity and appraisal. Then, slowly, the silence broke, replaced by a wave of polite applause and a renewed murmur of conversation. Jed walked forward, a small, humble smile on his face, his hand outstretched to greet those who approached. "It is a pleasure to meet you all," he said, his voice sincere and warm. "We are grateful for your hospitality and for the chance to be here among such fine company." Throughout the evening, the Clampetts found themselves at the center of attention. They were asked about their life in the mountains, about their journey to California, and about their impressions of Washington. Jed answered every question with the same patient, good-natured honesty that had always defined him. Granny, though still wary, found herself in a spirited conversation with an elderly lady about the best way to pickle various garden vegetables, discovering that, despite their different backgrounds, they shared a profound appreciation for the art of preservation. Jethro, meanwhile, was explaining the finer points of his steam-powered lawnmower to a group of young, ambitious aides who were genuinely intrigued by his mechanical ideas. He spoke with the passion of an inventor, his eyes bright as he drew diagrams on the back of his napkin, demonstrating the efficiency of his design. Ellie Mae, surrounded by a group of admirers who were captivated by her simple, unassuming charm, was talking about her love for all living things. She spoke with such genuine feeling that even the most hardened political hearts in the room seemed to soften, moved by the purity of her spirit and the depth of her compassion. As the night drew to a close, Jed stood in the center of the ballroom, looking around at the sea of faces, feeling a sense of quiet fulfillment. It had been a long day and a long journey, but as he looked at his family, he knew that they had remained true to themselves through it all. We have seen a lot of the world, he thought, and while it may be different from the life we once knew, there is a common thread that runs through the hearts of all people, a desire for kindness, for connection, and for a little bit of goodness in this life. The next morning, the sun rose over Washington, casting a golden light on the city, as the Clampetts prepared for their next adventure. They had been invited to visit a local orphanage, a place that Ellie Mae had been particularly keen to see since hearing about it from one of the guests at the gala. As they made their way through the city, the streets were coming to life, the bustle of the day ahead beginning to take shape. They arrived at the orphanage, a large, well-kept building with a sprawling yard filled with the sound of children playing. As they stepped out of the car, the children, sensing that something special was about to happen, gathered around them. Ellie Mae, her eyes lighting up, sat down on the grass, surrounded by a group of children who were eager to see what she had brought with her. From her bag, she pulled out a small, colorful book, the pages filled with stories about the natural world, about the animals she loved and the wonders she had seen in her time. She began to read, her voice soft and melodic, the children listening with rapt attention, their faces filled with wonder. Jed watched from a few feet away, a proud smile on his face. He looked at Jethro, who was busy demonstrating his steam lawn mower to a group of older children, his face a mask of concentrated effort and joy. He looked at Granny, who was sitting on a bench, laughing as she watched one of the smaller children try to imitate the way she spoke, her voice thick with the cadence of the mountains. He felt a deep sense of peace, a realization that wherever they went, they brought a little piece of the mountains with them, a reminder of the simple, honest values that had always guided their lives. In the weeks that followed, the Clampetts became a fixture in Washington, a testament to the idea that no matter how much the world might change, the essence of a person and the love of a family could endure. They took part in many more events, each one an opportunity to learn and to share, and in each one, they left a mark that was all their own. They became friends with people from all walks of life, from the high and the mighty to the simple and the humble, and in doing so, they found a place for themselves in a city that they had initially thought to be worlds away from, their own. Jed often found himself sitting in the park, looking at the Washington Monument, thinking about the journey they had taken and the many things they had seen. It is a long way, he thought, from the hills where we once gathered our own food and lived by the rhythm of the seasons. But the heart knows no geography. The heart knows only the truth, the love, and the kindness that we offer to one another. He closed his eyes, listening to the sound of the city around him, finding in it a beauty that he had not noticed before. As the seasons began to change, and the leaves on the trees began to turn a deep, vibrant gold, the Clampetts began to talk about their return to the home they had built in California. They had finished their business in Washington, and though they had found much to admire in the city, there was a part of them that longed for the peace of their own home, the place where they could gather together at the end of the day and know that they were exactly where they belonged. Their last night in Washington, they had dinner together, a quiet affair, as they reflected on their time in the capital. Granny was the first to speak, her voice a little softer than usual. "It has been an experience," she said, "one that I would not have believed possible, but I have to say, I am looking forward to the quiet of our own garden again." Jed nodded, his heart full. "I agree, Granny," he said. "It has been a time of great learning, and I am grateful for every moment we have had." Ellie Mae smiled, her hand resting on the back of her chair. "I have loved the children," she said, "and I will remember the stories we shared, but I am ready for the comfort of home." Jethro, who had been quiet for a moment, looked up, his eyes bright. "I am ready to get back to my workshop," he said, his voice full of excitement for the future. "I have so many more ideas, each day a reflection of the journey they had taken and the life they were building." The cabin was a center of peace, a sanctuary of love, and a testament to the enduring power of family. As the world moved on, they remained a constant, comforting presence, a reminder that no matter how much the world may change, the values of home, of family, and of heart remain the most important things of all. And in the quiet of the mountains, under the vast open sky, the story of the Clampetts continued, a gentle, persistent song of home that would echo through the valleys and across the ridges for as long as the mountains stood. The story was complete, yet it continued, a living, breathing testament to the power of the human spirit. They were the Clampetts, and they had found their way not through the world, but to the truth of themselves. Their story was a reminder that we are all on our own journeys, searching for the places and the people that make us whole, and that, in the end, the most significant journey is the one that leads us back home, to the truth of who we are and to the people who love us for exactly that. The hills are a home, the stars are a guide, and the story of the Clampetts is a gentle, beautiful reminder that the light of home is always burning, waiting for the ones who have traveled far and are ready to return. They were the people of the hills, and they would always be a family whose lives were a testament to the beauty of the simple, the power of love, and the enduring strength of a life lived with heart. And as the sun set once more, painting the mountains in hues of gold and violet, the cabin stood as a warm, welcoming presence in the heart of the woods, a testament to the life they had lived, the journey they had taken, and the love they had shared. The story of the Clampetts was not just their own, but a story for everyone, a reminder that the true wealth of life is not in the things we accumulate, but in the people we love and the place we call home. And in the quiet, peaceful heart of the mountains, the story lived on, a gentle, enduring song that whispered through the trees and across the ridges, a reminder that home is not just a place, but a feeling, a state of being, and the place where we are finally, truly, and forever at peace. And so, the day ended, the stars shone bright, and the world was quiet. In the cabin, the fire burned low, casting long shadows across the walls and filling the room with a warm, comforting glow. The Clampetts were together, a family whose journey had come to its end and whose life was just beginning. They were home, and in the heart of the mountains, under the watchful, eternal stars, they were at peace, a testament to the beauty of the journey, the truth of the heart, and the enduring, eternal, and beautiful power of home. They had traveled to the world, they had touched the stars, and they had returned to the hills, the place where they were always meant to be, the place that was and always would be home. Their journey was a unique testament, an enduring reflection of a life lived with heart and spirit. They were the Clampetts, and their story remains a gentle, lingering note in the great, unfolding song of the world, a reminder that no matter where we go, the deepest truth of our existence is often found right where we started, in the quiet, simple beauty of the life we were meant to live. And as the night unfolded, in the heart of the mountains, the cabin was a beacon of light, a testament to the life they had lived, the journey they had taken, and the love they had shared, a love that would continue to burn, bright and steady, a constant, comforting presence in the heart of the world, forever and always at home. The story of the Clampetts continues in the grand city of Washington, where the air of politics is as thick as the morning fog, and the heart of a mountaineer remains as pure as a mountain stream. Jed Clampett, a man whose honesty is only matched by his immense fortune, stood on the balcony of his hotel suite, looking out over the Capitol with a contemplative gaze. Beside him, Granny was busy tending to her collection of jars, while Ellie Mae was whispering sweet endearments to her newest furry friend, a kitten named Jefferson Davis. Jethro, meanwhile, was hunched over a drawing pad, his brow furrowed in deep thought as he sketched out the blueprints for his latest, most ambitious project yet, a steam-powered lawnmower that could, in theory, clip every blade of grass on the White House lawn in a single afternoon. Jed sighed, his voice resonant and gentle as he spoke to the room. Truly is a remarkable thing, he mused, that folks from our neck of the woods could find themselves so deep in the middle of such a grand and bustling place. Granny looked up, her spectacles perched precariously on the bridge of her nose, and sniffed. It is a place, Jed, she replied, where people spend more time talking than doing, and where the air is full of everything but good, clean mountain oxygen. Ellie Mae looked up from her kitten, her eyes bright and filled with a simple, untroubled light. I think it is beautiful, Uncle Jed, she said softly. The trees are tall, and even if they do not have the same wild spirit as the ones back home, there is a kind of quiet strength to them that I find myself liking more and more with each passing day. Jethro, not looking up from his sketches, added his own 2 cents. It is the engineering, he declared, that makes this place so special. The way those big white buildings are put together, with all those columns and those big, impressive domes, it is a marvel of human ingenuity. I am thinking that once I get this steam mower finished, the president will be so impressed he will ask me to consult on the architecture of the entire city. Jed chuckled, a warm sound that filled the room. Well, Jethro, he said, if you can figure out how to keep that machine from puffing more smoke than a freight train, you might just be onto something. Their peaceful moment was interrupted by a sharp, rhythmic tapping at the door. It was Mr. Drysdale, who entered the room with a look of frantic, albeit polished, intensity. Mr. Clampett, he exclaimed, wringing his hands together, I have been scouting the town, and I have found something that I believe will pique your interest and further your standing among the movers and shakers of this great city. Jed turned, his posture relaxed and welcoming. Well, Mr. Drysdale, he said, we are always happy to hear what you have to say, though I must admit, we are feeling quite content right where we are. Mr. Drysdale took a deep breath, smoothing his suit jacket with an practiced air of importance. It is a matter of tradition, he continued, a way to solidify your place in the fabric of Washington society. There is a charity gala happening this very evening, attended by the highest echelons of government, and I have managed to secure an invitation for the entire Clampett family. Granny scoffed, her hands resting firmly on her hips. A gala, she repeated, as if the word itself were something strange and vaguely offensive. I have got my own way of celebrating, and it usually involves a nice, hearty bowl of victuals, not dancing around with a bunch of strangers in fancy clothes. Jed looked at Granny, then back to Mr. Drysdale, a thoughtful expression on his face. You know, Granny, he said gently, it might be a fine opportunity to learn a bit more about how these folks here go about their business. It is a chance to show them that we mountain folk are not so different from them, and maybe, just maybe, we can share a bit of our own simple wisdom. Ellie Mae stood up, her kitten tucked safely in her arms. I think it sounds lovely, she said, her voice filled with quiet excitement. I have never been to a gala before, and I would be honored to see what it is like. Mr. Drysdale beamed, his relief evident. It is a splendid idea, he said, and I have already arranged for a personal tailor to visit the suite to ensure that you are dressed in the height of Washington fashion. Jethro looked up from his blueprints, his eyes wide. Does that mean I can get a suit with a pocket specifically designed to hold my drafting compass? He asked, his voice full of genuine curiosity. Mr. Drysdale, ever the pragmatist, nodded. Certainly, Jethro, he replied. A suit can be made to accommodate any number of specialized tools. As the afternoon wore on, the suite was a flurry of activity. The tailor arrived, a man of few words and precise measurements, who moved around the Clampetts with the efficiency